Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and we have tonight's guest is Tim Malone. He is the co-author of Jessica Franzini of Behind the Veil, One Man's Journey from Opioid Addiction and to Spirituality and Beyond. I haven't finished the book, but I have been reading it, and man, it's very, I think it's going to be a very intense show. This man, suffered like many people I knew, especially in the early 2000s, who got addicted to opioids because doctors were literally giving it out like candy. I've seen it destroy so many people. It's so sad. And this man, he got through it with the help of a dog. And it opened him up to spirituality and, with orbs and entities, angels. This whole incredible experience. And this is what this book is about. We're going to be talking about tonight with our guest, Tim Malone. After the World Wide Web Weird, which we do. We have a lot of weird. I was having to decide. There's a couple I edited out, man. There's some really gruesome stuff. If I would have had open lines, I might have talked about it tonight. Some crazy stuff out there. But we do have some weird stories, as usual, for the World Wide Web Weird. And we will open the phone lines later in the show if you want to call in and join this discussion tonight. A lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, Tim Malone, author of Behind the Veil, One Man's Journey from Opioid Addiction and to Spirituality and Beyond, will be joining us after the first commercial break. Joining me now, though, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you do tonight, Jamie?
Doing very well, thank you.
Glad to have you here. But yeah, I really am starting to, I'm getting into this book tonight. I forgot to prep this part here. Let me make sure I got this ready to go. But yeah, I'm actually really starting to enjoy this book. I wish I could have finished it beforehand, but sometimes that's a good thing that I don't. Oh, dang it. And I got to do something else for the World Wide Web of Weird. Wow, I am off my game tonight. So there's this little trick I have to do. I use Dropbox or whatever to share the files of the stuff, articles and that, and I forgot to open it up and let it load. So that's going to take a second. So Jamie showed me, since we're waiting for that to upload before getting the World Wide Web Weird, and I'll have to rush that tonight a little bit, sorry. Jamie shared with me, what was it, like a 2-minute clip of, you got to see the episode from History Channel from Monster Quest I was in. I still have not seen it.
I watched the whole thing. We watched the whole thing after that. 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know you got to see it. I mean, I have not seen it at all, but you shared a little bit of it with me. And then, like I said, a number of my listeners here and friends, and my father-in-law, mother-in-law. My father-in-law calls me and goes, "Hey, I saw you on TV." I forgot. I didn't even mention to them, thinking that they would end up seeing it. Of course, they watch Monster Quest. They're awesome. And I didn't even think about them catching it. My poor mother has still not seen it. So I got to arrange a time for her and my dad to come over to my in-laws who have it on the DVR, so we can all sit down and watch it.
Record it and try to make it look nice, and then I'm gonna post it like with your picture next to it.
I don't. You can't post that, Opie.
Why not? I post all
because
stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Be careful. I don't know what History Channel coming after you. I'm fine
with it.
All right, let me. Hopefully this has loaded. I want to check, make sure. I'm so sorry, guys. Off my game tonight.
But sincerely you look really good. They did a good job.
This is 2.6. This has got to be right. So it's got to be updated now. Okay. All right. I hope it's good. All right. Well, hopefully this works. Oh, thank you. I'll get that out of the way before we go. Thank you, James, for the $1.99 donation. Every donation helps, guys. Patreons and our channel members and the super chat donations are awesome. Thank you so much. We do have some weird to get into, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I thought I'd start off the continuing story of the. I always start off with continuing stories, but this one is we talked. I think a month or two ago, I talked about the planned mission in February for Artemis 2 for the moon. And what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? It said it would get canceled and delayed. I mean, that's just like we all know that's going to happen. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup radio channel on the Talkstream Live Paranormal Radio app. We are a live webcast out to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you want to come around and watch, hopefully I can share stuff here. I'm hoping. I don't know why I forgot to do that tonight. I don't know if this is updated yet. Yeah, this is it. Okay. This is the original article. I got the Unexplained Mystery article. It says, fuel leak delays NASA mega rocket moon mission. And this is Unexplained's article. NASA provides major update on Artemis 2 manned moon mission. Those hoping to see the first crew fly around the moon in more than 5 decades this month will unfortunately have to wait. Told you so. A little bit longer, thanks to a hydrogen propellant leak during pre-launch testing. According to NASA, the issue occurred during a wet dress rehearsal, essentially a full run-through of all the preparatory steps before launch, including the fueling of the rocket itself. The leak, which is situated between the fueling hose, we don't need all the technical details. They found a leak. And actually, good. Thank God. And
isn't that what keeps happening?
Delay it until you've got it perfect, because if you screw this up, we're never going. We're not built to the stuff that the guys from the original Apollo mission were as a society, and the society of back then, you know. I don't think we will handle a tragedy right now. We can't take it. So,
isn't it always a leak though? Something like that with this one.
Yeah, you're dealing with dangerous, rocket fuel. I guess. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It corrodes. I guess. I don't know.
That's just what they say, and they have no intention of going.
They better. The race is on. The race is on for the moon. And we better get our butts up there. I think it's pretty much tantamount that we get there, because everybody else is going to go. All right, next up. Well, I'm in Indiana, and there's a lot of talk about data centers here, because we're just totally getting screwed over here by our elected officials. It doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat, because I live in a Democrat city and a Republican state, and both screwed us over.
It's the same.
On data centers. It don't matter. It don't matter. They both screwed us over.
Right. It's the same.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if the money is what talks, right? Not politics. It's the money. But listen to this. SpaceX plans for millions of satellites orbital data center constellation. If you thought the current array of more than 9,000 satellites that make up the SpaceX Starlink constellation was excessive, the latest endeavor will likely blow your mind. According to reports, the firm is seeking approval from the Federal Communications Commission to set up a new orbital data center comprised of 1 million individual satellites. 1 million! I mean, there's 9,000 Starlink. Now we're talking a million here. Operating at an altitude between 500 to 2,000 kilometers, the satellites would harness solar power to operate much more efficiently than typical ground-based data centers. By directly harnessing near-constant solar power with little operating or maintenance costs, these satellites would achieve transformative cost and energy efficiency while significantly reducing environmental impacts associated with terrestrial data centers, the company wrote. Launching a constellation of 1 million satellites that operate as orbital data centers is a first step towards becoming the Kardashev Type 2 civilization that one can harness the sun's full power while supporting AI-driven applications for billions of people today and ensuring humanity's multi-planetary future among the stars. I don't know. What do you think about it, Jamie? You want the data centers here? Or do you want them up there? Because either way, if you use AI, you use servers, you use everything we're using, more and more is going to need data centers, right? More than they need us.
And the flesh of the caricatures, like the Bernie ones were funny because the pose, like in 2020 when we all kind of did that trend. And the caricature ones were kind of funny at first until I started thinking, wow, this is like wildfire. And then I thought about everybody using Chat GPT, right now to like do those caricatures, show me what I look like at work. And I started.
I mean, in Terminator, they called it Skynet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. And that's where it would be. The new super intelligent AI is going to be up there in the sky then.
I think they want it in the sky.
Well, they want it wherever they can put it. And Indiana's like, here we are, open the doors, come on in. Oh, screw them. Screw the people. You got money for me? Thanks. That's our elected leaders here.
Telling us we're in a drought again. I want to look.
And our NIPSCO bills go out. Our energy, we have NIPSCO here, goes up the roof, out the door. And they're like, it's because of the surcharges and this charge because we have the delivery fees and nothing to do with the big infrastructure we have to build for all these data centers and the power needs are going to nothing. Don't look at that. No. But yeah, that's how it's going.
$700 1 month in California with a pool.
Moving on, because I have to cut this short a little bit tonight because I had problems. Sorry.
It's okay.
Next up, Trump rumored, we'll read this article's title first. Trump set to reveal aliens exist in historic UN speech for July, claims UK filmmaker. And I've been seeing people share this all week long, or last couple weeks. I've seen other people comment on it. And also, not just this UK filmmaker, Representative Brilson, I think is his name, Congressman just recently did this interview where he's talking about military having to build a whole base around a UFO. It was so big. And that Trump has given basically orders to the DOD to release everything. I wonder why. I wonder what he's trying to distract us with. Epstein files. According to reports, rumors come from courtesy of UK filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee, the writer and director of a recent documentary, The Rendlesham UFO, the British Roswell. Lee claims that he was contacted by an insider from the Trump administration who told him that Trump had already prepared a speech confirming the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life. Initially, the speech was to be given during a United Nations address at some point later this year, but this was changed to July 8th to coincide with the anniversary of Roswell incident. And he's aware of Roswell. Because in that one time he's ever opened up, really not been like, the alien thing, not really into it. The only time he got excited or ever talked about it, he mentioned Roswell. He was talking with his son, Don Jr. According to Insider, Trump had been adamant that the speech would be associated with the infamous incident, which saw an alleged alien spacecraft on ranch outside of Roswell in 1947 because of the symbolic association with the UFO phenomenon. The speech would allegedly confirm that extraterrestrial craft had indeed been retrieved, that alien bodies had been found at the crash site, and that such programs had been ongoing for decades. Unsurprisingly, Lee's claims have been met with a significant degree of skepticism, with many arguing that the rumors of such a speech are likely to be nonsense, that nothing that will happen on July 8th. It's certainly true that alleged disclosure events have been rumored for years and nothing has ever come of any of them, and that's how I feel. I mean, he could be right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, are we going to get full disclosure because a bunch of rich elites have been doing bad things and they're like, hey, we have a UFO, we're telling you aliens are real, don't think about any of that stuff, other stuff, don't look. Give me the aliens, give me that stuff, yeah. But we're still going to want answers on everything else. Screw you.
We're always going to want answers.
Mm-hmm. Moving on. Speaking of UFOs, there's now another Jeremy Corbell interesting video leak, military leak. I thought it was cool. New leak U.S. military footage shows fast-moving UFO over Syria. Wonder if it's over Syria. Is it an alien? Is it going to play my video? What's going on? I had some problems with Dropbox when I was trying to do the World Wide Web of Weird. It didn't do the video. We're not going to do this one. I guess this will be the one to skip. I'm sorry. What happened was where I got screwed up tonight, and that is it when I was doing the World Wide Web of Weird. Oh, nope, there it comes. Nope, it just loaded. That's so weird. No. Add to state. No. Remove. Okay, this is getting weird. All right, let me just take it down and bring it back up. Move from studio. Maybe I could do it. Video file. Let's try it again. I don't know, because it acted like it wasn't going to come, and then it did. Oh, hello. What is this? It's like totally changed views on me. What is going on? Like, whole page is like reloading. Are you still there, Jamie?
Yeah, because you have it on the cinema layout.
I didn't touch anything else. Let me...
I'm not even next to it. I'm scooted back.
How do I get it out of the cinema layout?
Well, your
it's still not
showing.
Yeah, it's still not doing it. It's still not doing it. All right, I got rid of it. That's when I tried to do it. Is what did it. I didn't touch the cinema layout.
No, I'm just
all right. Well, we'll move along from that one. But it was Jeremy Corbell. Go find it. You know, there's another thing on that. Jeez, I don't know what's going on tonight. I had problems. Like I said, Dropbox was updating when I was trying to do my World Wide Web of Weird the other night, and like it got another video. Let's see if it'll do this one. This one's from Argentina. Okay, this one it is. I'll turn it down. Hold on. Let me get it. There we go. This is weird. This is from Argentina. Coast to Coast AM has the article on it. We're going to run out of time. February 4th. Look at that.
Gato, esos dos, mira ese. Parece un plato.
And they weren't going like that because the landscaping was straight.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's from Argentina.
Strange.
Yeah, like I said, you can find this on Coast to Coast AM. I'm kind of rushing through it a little bit tonight because it all got screwed up.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Where was that? So this should be Article 6. Nope, Article 6. Okay. Hopefully this one's right. So I don't want your guys' thoughts on this. There's a bit of a row in Australia, and they say, row in Australia, from Unexplained Mysteries. Teachers told to tell kids about dinosaurs on Noah's Ark. What's the science? Here's this one from The Guardian. Science teachers from Queensland open up Brethren schools told to teach students about vegetarian dinosaurs on Noah's Ark. So basically, I don't want to read the whole article because I don't want to run out of time. These schools are teaching like creationism in Australia, right? And people are having a fit about it because they're like, you should be teaching science. like I'm one of those libertarian, like you want to raise your kids a certain way, and people choose to put their kids in that school, and that's what they believe. I don't like kids learning that, you know. But I don't know. Like I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Like, because my problem with it is, and I'm going to get to this in this last article, is science, you know, I'm going to trust more than religion, obviously. Sorry. And some people trust religion more, and that's their choice. And I don't judge them for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think either could be valid. But science has not answered all the big questions, and they have a lot of things they say is fact that, to me, is not fact. When it gets into, like, history, because that's what we're talking about when you're getting into creationism and the ideas of the past with the Bible, and then if you get into evolution and Darwinism, you know, these are conflicting ideas. Neither explain our past fully. Big gaping holes. I think I think the solution is that I think theology class in schools is important. Not telling kids to follow any religion, but laying out all the religions. You know, and opening kids' ideas to different, that opens them to knowing how other cultures are the way they are, because they're formed around these religions, you know.
I love that.
And then they have their science classes, and let them, it's open for debate. It all is, you know. Now, do I believe Noah's Ark was real and had baby vegetarian dinosaurs? No.
No, but it gets...
I do believe Noah's Ark Noah's Ark was real, though. Actually, I shouldn't say that.
It gets people thinking, and then experimenting and discovering and evolving, and we need people
Give
to
kids,
not be...
instead of telling him this is what, you know, both sides want to tell the kids this is the facts of everything, right here. Learn this. Instead of doing that, be like, we don't know. This is what we do know, and things we question, and make it a mystery for them to solve. Get them interested. Open their minds to ask the question.
Like, what do you think by all this?
Yeah.
Right.
This would be fascinating topic. I would love those kind of classes as a kid. Let's talk about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's how I built my whole spirituality, is like bits and pieces of things.
But that can be threatening to people who live in a strict religious society that don't, you know, they don't want that. And people, you know, the Amish are allowed to do that. They don't. Do you think they're teaching their kids evolution? No.
And then they give them one chance to leave and decide if they want to come back or not.
Yeah. If people want to do it, I'm a big libertarian, you know, people's rights with their children to teach them what they want. Mm-hmm. But society has to leave an open doorway once they're a legal adult to go their own way, too, you know. And that's hard for Amish kids. Really hard. I don't know. It's a hard one. We're going to run out of time, so I should get to the last one, because this gets me to the last point of the night. Because next week, we're going to have Paul Wallace on, you know, my favorite guest. Been reading his book, the Eden Enigma. You know, me and the reason I love Paul Wallace. Oh nope, that's not the right thing. I am totally off my game. Is because we both believe in the ancient alien astronaut theory, pretty much. You know. And this is an article that came up I saw in the Sun. Mysterious ancient carved symbols found all over the world could reveal lost human civilizations from 40,000 years ago. Now, I do not have time to read this whole article for Worldwide Web. We're going to run out of time, but you can get this from the Sun. But it's really interesting. There's a lot in this article about the different symbolisms used between Peru, you know, Bolivia, Turkey, Egypt, Cambodia, on all these different temples. To show a shared narrative, shared symbolism, and connection of in the same time period, 30, 40,000 years ago, another civilization existed. That's what I believe. I'm a Graham Hancock fan, you know what I'm saying? But who am I to know for sure? I've never been to Bolivia or Peru or seen these sites, and I'm taking other people's words for it, right? I believe in the ancient alien theory, or at least in ancient advanced civilization before us. I think there's so much we don't know about our past, because the victors write the history, right? And they burn the temples, they burn the books, and we don't know. It's all dust, right? There's so much that's been lost to history. And, I think we should, just try to be with kids, at least with them learning, honest about that. We don't know. It's a mystery. Let's be excited and talk about it and learn, Maybe you'll be the kid that discovers it, figures it out, saying, this is the facts, science, no, creationism, no, evolution, no. Let's just put it all on the table and then let the next young, brilliant genius discover what the real truth is. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You just get people thinking.
Yeah, let's teach kids critical thinking. I don't know. But then again, that can go against the, the academics and the religious sometimes. I don't know. I to each their own. I would like my libertarian senses say, leave those people alone with their children, and hope those kids grow up to realize, they discover their things. I can't buy into the Earth is only like 6,000 years old or something like that. And dinosaurs are made up, or none of that I get, but people do believe it, and you have to respect that belief, because in the end, I'm not an archaeologist. I'm not an anthropologist. I'm not, a religious scholar. I don't know.
There's a lot of younger people that honestly believe dinosaurs are made up.
Oh, I know some. I've talked to some. And I'm not going to judge them for that.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of evidence to say nay to that, but maybe we don't. I think there's a lot of wrong we probably have about dinosaurs, though. That's a whole other subject for another night. But that's the end of the World Wide Web of Weird. Sorry to get controversial, but when I read that article about that, it's like, I want kids to have all the knowledge, everything, but, parents have choices. And I don't know how you feel about that. I don't want somebody indoctrinating my children into another religion or something, doctrine or dogma of any kind, I don't know. That's it for the World Wide Web of Weird. Our guest tonight is Tim Malone. He is the co-author of the book Behind the Veil, One Man's Journey from Opioid Addiction to Spirituality and Beyond. And we will open the phone lines up later in the show if you want to call in and join this conversation tonight. I know many of us and myself have lost a lot of people to opioid addiction. One day there should be a reckoning, real reckoning, for the corporate people involved. And the people that were involved, they made a movie about it or something. I mean, real reckoning for the people that let that happen in the 2000s, early days. I don't know. But you know what? This guy's story is really incredible. It's really going to get into orbs, spirits, entities, angels. It goes into all that. It's a very deep journey when we come back from the short commercial break.
You were brought here for one purpose, necromancy.
A ceremony dating back to the pre-Christian era. It's the art of reviving the dead. It requires involvement with evil spirits by the person performing the act.
The devil god brings life to the dead.
No, please. No, please.
And death to the living. Necromancy, starring Orson Welles and Pamela Franklin. From Cinerama releasing. In color, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
he is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Hello, I am Fernando Martinez. I think by now you know I am an emotional kind of guy. People stop me in the street and say, Fernando, what the hell is wrong with me? Silk shirt, hairy chest, enough aftershave to drown a household pet, but I still cannot get a woman. I tell them you are an ignorant fool. Without a symbol of power and fertility around your neck, what kind of woman is going to respect you? That is why I have teamed up with Medallion Man, the shop for medallion needs. Medallion Man caters to all levels of masculinity. For the strong, silent type, a medallion the size of a hubcap will say everything that needs to be said. Even singing medallions for the Casanova, who knows music is the food of love. Model trains, dollhouses, diapers, whatever your interest, we've got a medallion for you. Don't forget, every woman knows if you can't support a medallion, you can't support a family.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Well, tonight on Paranormal Soup, I don't know if we have a guest because they haven't showed up yet. Usually I'd read the bio now. I don't know. Usually, I tell them to be on by 11:25 Eastern, and they're not here. And I don't have contact with the guests because they are through another publicist who I did double check and confirm with. But, things happen. So we might just have a little short show and open lines tonight if they're not showing up. Maybe they're running late, so we'll take a little while, see maybe they come. But I guess we'll roll on into it and just open up the lines. All right, double checking my email. I don't see anything. Ah, dang it. I am booking up guests. I am I just booked somebody for April. It's just, I have some, it's just things happen. Things happen. I don't know. Dang it. I really enjoy this book, too.
People.
Well, I had Carmen Turner Scott. She got sick. We rescheduled 2 months later, and then she got sick again. And she's a sweetheart, so I got to get her rescheduled. And then I had some other things I would say.
A lot of people are just having, all sorts of crazy things happening to them right now.
Well, maybe I bring up these two stories tonight that I debated on. Maybe it's a sign. I feel like we are letting society is I don't know, going crazy as always. It seems like crazier and crazier. I had one of my coworkers sent me this one. Did you hear about the guy at Olive Garden?
Refresh me.
This is recent. I don't know if I should do it. What do you guys think? Do you want gruesome?
because I've heard like a few different things, and I'm getting stories mixed up.
Yeah. Cook kills himself by plunging head into a hot deep fryer at Olive Garden restaurant. One of my associates today was like, "Did you hear about this?" I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" My
People are
boss is like, "No,
doing
it's real."
crazy things. Why?
One reason I didn't get is I don't have a good article on it. This one's a crappy one. Is a Pennsylvania Olive Garden employee died from severe burn injuries after jumping into deep fat fire and suicide attempt. This is why for him, sadly.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
PCP. I can't read the article, actually. No, it's being stupid. My boss was trying to find a good article, and it was just, this one's stupid. This one's not working good.
So he wasn't like
the kid at work told me about that. No, he was on PCP. I guess he was like putting his arm or stuff into the fryer. He's like, "Look, it doesn't hurt." Yeah, you're on PCP. It's not gonna hurt. And I guess he stuck his head in there, and his eyeballs were gone.
Wow.
And he died later.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That's very
it was like, I thought, I was telling the kid, he goes, "What's PCP?" I'm like, this kid's just turned 21, he's just a baby. And I'm like, man, it was the stuff of nightmares for police officers in the 90s and 80s, man. Like, they feared angel dust, PCP, the guy's just taking bullets and not feeling a damn thing, And then I was telling him, like, Jay's like, my store manager's like, "You should cover this stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, on my show, I covered like Flocka and these other things because, does it open you up to demonic possession?"
It's these days, angel dust, these bath salts and Flocka and all that.
Yeah, that's what I was telling the bath salts. We covered that stuff, It's crazy, like that's
scary.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. People scare me more than the paranormal because of what they can crazily do. Luckily, sadly, he died, but he didn't hurt anybody but himself. And that's usually the instance in most of these cases, but not all. We've covered the ones where it went bad for other people. Like the guy eating the dude's face. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm. One guy ate his own arm. One guy took a bite out of his dog.
But then I started telling the kid about MK Ultra.
No.
Oh, and I shouldn't, because I'm on my sales floor and I shouldn't be talking about this stuff. But I was like, "Let me tell you a history lesson." And it's history because it's Freedom of Information Act. This is not conspiracy theory. And there was a LaPorte City police officer in our store overheard me. Goes, "MK Ultra." I had to do that for an ethics class, a report on it. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you overheard me." Shit.
I was like,
but I like telling this kid. Yeah. Oh, our guest has made it.
Yay!
Oh, thank God. You get in big trouble when I just start talking. Yeah. You turned your camera off. Are you there, Tim?
Yeah, let me open it up.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we see you. You're all good. I didn't get to do the bio because you're running late, so I didn't know if you're coming or something got mixed up. I'm glad you're here. I guess we begin. I have started to read your book and find it very fascinating. I really actually moving, as I've known and lost people to opioid addiction. Saw it firsthand, how they gave that stuff out like candy back in the day. And I saw a lot of people, friends, family get addicted. And we're gonna be suffering the consequences of that for years to come, I believe. Still.
I think so. I think at the time I was addicted, it was very easy to get the pills. You could go across state lines and get them. You could go to multiple doctors and shop. Now it's harder to get the real stuff, and more people are dying because of fentanyl and those type of things now. So
yep.
I probably would have been dead now because of the fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a serious thing of it. I mean, and there's so many, and I think some people even off themselves. I think because of it, they couldn't get it anymore. They didn't want to live in pain. There's so many ways it destroyed people's lives.
They get you so hooked up, and then they cut you off, and
they
don't.
That was. I mean, it had to happen. We had to change things and stop. But then the brutality of the people that got cut off.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah, on addiction programs and how they. Well, the thought was back then, especially 15 years ago when I was really addicted and doing 16 hydrocodone a day,
Oh my God.
and 2 Ambien a night,
Oh my God.
was that something was wrong with you, and that why can't you just quit? And
Man, somebody says that has no idea what the F they're talking about. Somebody said that.
That's right. And now, at least medical science has come along far enough to know that it's a brain, your brain's changed. I still take Suboxone because my brain was so destroyed by, it changed enough. It wasn't destroyed, but it changed enough through the opioids that, it's a permanent change to your body. So
It's in your DNA.
yeah.
That's the thing.
On a cocktail, I was in a really bad rollover accident, all sorts of pain, this and that. Couldn't move some days, and they would just keep upping and upping and upping to where it was 10 Norco a day, and then the soma for the muscle spasms, and then from the PTSD is the Xanax, and then I would go on these medication vacations sometimes, and then like see like how much I would need, but then it would still build up and build up and build up because you get immune to it, and they're telling you need to take this and take that. They saw what I went through on it. It took me a while to slowly wean myself off.
I remember you falling asleep in front of me on your keyboard.
On the show.
I mean, it's just like
it was a
there should be no judgments on anybody on these opioid addictions, on anybody with addiction. You don't know somebody's life or what leads them to where they get there, And a lot of people, sadly, with opioid addiction, they went in, they had a back surgery or they had a knee surgery, and it didn't take that much, and they were addicted.
Well, and I have to say, honestly, the buzz from the opioids was the best buzz I ever had, but the downs were the worst downs I've ever had.
Right.
And, luckily something greater than myself stepped in to change my life.
Honestly, I mean, a lot of people with addiction, have overcome addiction. I've heard it over and over again that you need some kind of spiritual, like, awakening. You need something, be it God. That's why you have, people find faith. Fine, people find faith in whatever religion, something spiritual. It's a spiritual battle you're going through. This is it's going to take everything to overcome it.
Well, I think you're right, and I think when you look at the statistics, MATs, medically assisted treatment programs.
Sorry, Jamie, you weren't muted on that. There she's fine.
I realized that.
Medically,
she's doing the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Well, she was doing that. She does the chat room just so people know. She's trying to type in the chat room with her voice as an accent. Sorry, guys. Okay. Go ahead.
Medically assisted treatment programs are the most successful, and that is 12-step program is great, and I'm not knocking it, but a combination of a medical solution to detox or whatever it is long term.
Oh yeah.
Itself, but the spiritual component is huge. And that also stepped in to save my life.
Yeah, I really think so. I know what I'm enjoying about your book is because I mean, for me, you lost. And we'll get into that later, but you lost your boo boo,
yeah,
your little Shih Tzu during COVID, and I lost both my dogs a month apart from each other during that time, and my kids had to witness it. It was a really spiritual kind of thing that happened with it too. So like I get that, and I love that you didn't want this dog. This boo-boo.
Yeah.
You didn't want this dog, and like I got that because it took us 3 years after losing those two, losing Asia and Bella, before I finally gave in after a lot of pressure from the family to get another dog. So I get that, because you loved animals beforehand and you knew you weren't in a state to take care of one, right? That's what I read in the book. I get that.
Well, thank you for reading the book. And how old were your dogs, Jason, when
They got, that's the thing. They got to live good, long lives, 17 and 15.
Oh, that's pretty good. Boo Boo was 15 at the time.
And for a Shih Tzu, that's actually pretty good. My mom has a Shih Tzu now, and she lost 2 Shih Tzus over the last several years. You know, I love Shih Tzus. My parents are like, they're Shih Tzu parents now. As soon as I move out of the house, right, Mom? You got Shih Tzus. Never let me have a dog.
Well, we rebought. Jason, it took about a year to recover from the loss of Boo Boo. As you know, you say that you never want to go through that pain again because you love your animal that much. But then we bought. Well, of course, there were the situation with the orbs that gave me a lot of comfort. But
yeah, I want to get into this tonight. Actually, before we get to, we should.
Sure.
This is why sometimes I shouldn't read the book before the show, because then I forget that people haven't read the book, and we don't want to give it all away either.
Yeah.
But I am really enjoying it, Tim. So you should start with the story of how this began. You had this addiction that went on. You had a marriage that fell apart too, and you met a woman, your now wife, right?
Denise? Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to start there. Kind of that's where I've gotten like halfway through the book, so I can't give it all away. So luckily tonight, but I'd like people to hear the story because I find it really interesting and really loving with the dog too, like how this dog changed you too.
Well, thank you, Jason. Yeah, I went through a horrible divorce, which I fixed the pain or used the opioids to work with the pain of that situation. And then I met a wonderful person, Denise, but was still an opioid addict at that time. This was in the mid 2000s when it was easy to get the pills. I was cheating with doctors, going across state lines, chasing the dragon, as they say, looking to find the pills. All that mattered every day was that I get the pills. But then at the very deepest part of my addiction, after relapsing 3 times through treatment programs, my wife brought a dog home, and she wasn't supposed to buy a dog. We agreed we didn't want a dog because we were very active. We traveled a lot, but she brought a dog home anyway. And I said, well, I get to name the dog then. If you bought the dog, I get to name the dog. And I called it Boo Boo because it was a mistake. She wasn't supposed to buy the dog. And then, so at that point, the dog stepped into my life and demanded exercise. We walked twice a day on weekends, 3 times a day. And that was the beginning of my recovery. I got into a great addiction program. I started exercising. The dog was there with me all the time. And she became my best friend. She was with me the whole time. And then at that point, the spiritual world started giving me nudges towards something greater than I thought or ever thought I could be. I would start finding things on the paths that we would walk, certain books that were just there.
Like synchronicity, pretty much starting to play a role.
Yeah, kismet, synchronicity, exactly. Nudges, I call them.
Yeah.
And I was never a spiritual person. I was raised Catholic, but I didn't attend church. I was overweight, had health issues really at that time. In the peak of my addiction, I was 245 pounds and pre-diabetic. So,
yeah.
And so walking the dog, conquering the addiction, falling in love with the dog. And along that way, my daughter suggested I join a meditation group. And I thought meditation was like woo woo, but they really pushed me into this group. They paid for it. It was like a gift for my birthday, and I joined a group of people. Yeah, and I joined a group of people, and we would meditate. We would then talk about if we felt or saw things, and I started seeing things. I started um, hearing bells out of the air in this room. I started seeing different things. I started experiencing different feelings. I started crying at different times. So that was the very beginning of this journey into the spirit world, which
Was it
as
the
you
same,
read,
always the same group of people that you were
well,
kind of meeting up with?
on our journeys, I always say there's more to be revealed always. And when you get to a certain point, it's time to move on into either a different group of people or a different group of books or a different group of experiences. At that particular time, those four were critical in the beginning of the spiritual journey. And just understanding how to quiet my mind, what mindfulness was, what meditation was, and I was really digging it. I really, really started to like it.
What was some of your, like, I mean, the bells thing is really interesting. Like, so you get into, you start learning how to do these, like, kind of meditations, and you're experiencing things like that. I mean, were you seeing images too?
Yes, I
Like,
started
yeah.
seeing images, and I would then when we got everybody, after our meditation of 10 minutes, that was guided usually by a lady named Rhonda, we would talk about what we saw. And the key for me, I don't know if you've ever read a book called Ramtha, but it was critical. After one meditation, Rhonda got up on her bookshelf and grabbed a book and said, "They told me that you should read this." And when I read Ramtha, it really changed my life. It was a
It
spiritual
sounds
book.
familiar. It sounds familiar. Yeah, tell me about the book, because it sounds familiar. I don't think I've read it though.
It's the book of a spiritual being, and it goes through multiple lives that he had, and his life and death and reincarnations.
Yeah.
And Jason, it just really moved me. And
Well, how do you spell that? Because I think I've run across this book, but I've never gotten it or read it.
Ramtha, and it's called
Somebody else
Ramtha,
recommended it to me.
the White Book. And in my book, I have one of the cool things is toward the end, I recommend beginning books, intermediate books, and advanced books for people who start. And Ramtha is one of my beginning books for people to read and see if it touches them.
So, what is this book about?
Well, it's about a man who was a reincarnated higher spiritual being, and he is a warrior, and he speaks to multiple lives, and he talks about what happens when you die. He talks about how you reincarnate and why you reincarnate. And it's the whole story of what happens when we die, and it's told so beautifully. And so it just, Jason, it was the right thing at the right time for me to
I get
like
that.
kickstart my spiritual journey, which has ended up into a fascinating
It got you
story.
starting to ask the questions. Like, did I live before? Which is a big question. For me, I feel very gifted. I had two in my early 20s, vivid dreams of two past lives, like super vivid.
Really?
And then later in life, I have a child that has memories of being in World War II and named the battlefield that he was on, like, without knowing anything. So in my household, we don't belong to any religion or anything. We're very spiritual. I believe in a higher power. Call it the force, God, whatever you want. But we're pretty well firm that we believe in past lives from our experiences.
I'm with you. I could be part of your family.
Right. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's so. There's so many we get into the topic of reincarnation quite a bit on this show over the 10 years we've been doing it. And I've had guests on like Chris Lee, and he does past life regressions, and I've had him do that for me, and it was interesting. And I still don't know how I feel about it. I think I definitely highly recommend doing it. But Debbie Anderson's his wife, who's a medium, and they talk openly about past lives. It's an acceptable thing, and in a past life, he was her father. And those are the weird things to people in this reality, in this time. It's hard for people to get their mind around it. That your relationships could be that in another past life. Totally, that's hard for people to accept. Besides, a lot of other things to past lives, that you could have been, like the person you're with now, you could have had a different kind of relationship with in another life.
Well, that's because, when we die, we go to the light, and then the first group of people we meet, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but anyway, you're on the topic of reincarnation. Our soul will meet our family that's passed. Then we meet our soul family. We'll review this life, our karma, and how we did. And then we'll go on our journey to different mansion worlds to train and keep learning. There's so much to learn in the universe. And then we'll make a decision at some point to reincarnate on a certain planet. Earth is a great one because of the free will that we have here, and your soul can learn so much. And then, to your point, Jason, we usually reincarnate with people that you've had
like
past
silver.
lives with. Yeah. With people like you mentioned your son and mentioned past lives, but these other people usually, and it's because number one, they were part of this journey with you at different times. Maybe you were killed at a place, thrown in a volcano, they were with you, or maybe there's things you need to settle still with them. You may have been their father, their mother, their daughter, whatever it is, and those roles can change, but you usually reincarnate with people that you were with in past lives.
Yeah, I 100% believe that. I mean, my son Liam has some of these past life memories. Told my wife when he was 3 that he chose us, and the thing is, years before he was born, the day I was moving out of my parents' house to go marry my wife, I saw this daylight, middle of the day, translucent boy walk right up to me, smile at me. That boy's him.
So you have
years before he was born.
Yeah, so you have clairvoyant skills. You are an advanced being yourself.
I don't know about advanced. I don't know about that, but I've seen stuff ever since my earliest memory. Like that's why I do this show. Like I've seen a lot of things other people don't see. But I don't call myself a psychic or a medium or do any of that. But I do see things. Yeah.
I feel like you're an old soul, and I feel like I'm a mystic, and hopefully you're a mystic. And mystics,
I believe I'm a mystic. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We don't follow any dogma, any religion. We seek the connection with the other side, and it seeks connection with us.
We want to see behind the veil.
Exactly, the book, which is what it's all about. Yeah,
I mean, that's why I love the title of your book, Behind the Veil. I so people know that posted on Facebook. I screwed up typing and typed Beyond the Veil. I edited it, but YouTube doesn't change. The Facebook doesn't let me change it on YouTube. The YouTube post, so just Behind the Veil. I am so sorry about that, because I do love that title. Because I've always looked at it as like the Wizard of Oz and the man behind the curtain. Like I always want to know who's the man behind the curtain. What's the truth to the reality we live in? And the reason being is when I was really young, I have a witness, cousin Phil out there, sometimes watches. We both saw a green floating head. We were like 4 or 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you couldn't tell me after that point that what they were telling me is real, not real. That's just imaginary, whatever. There's no such thing as ghost. I was like, I've seen it. I never let go of that as a kid. Plus the other stuff that happened to me. So for me, I know that there's something beyond the reality we science accepts, as real. I think there's a whole layer of realities we don't see. Most people don't see.
Well, in dimensions, and
right.
I think that children, it's interesting. so much about children because when you decide to reincarnate, you go through the womb of whatever person that's going to birth you, and you go through somewhat of an amnesia. But when you've come from behind the veil to now back into a world, whether it's this planet or another, children just left that side. So you've heard of children, uh, parents walk in to check in their bedroom on them and they're speaking to angels or mommy, I saw this, or mommy, I saw that. That's because they just left the other side. It's very familiar to them. And when I walk through groceries and see little children, my light is so bright, little kids just stare at me and they just follow
I get
me.
that. That's weird. Is that why? Because I had
Yeah.
that. I work in a retail store, and I'll have kids that come in, and they'll just, yeah, I'll get that
Yeah,
sometimes. Not
you've,
always, not all the time, but I've had some weird experiences where like this kid just like, especially little babies, like just
it's,
like
yeah,
looking at, follow me around. One time I had an employee goes, that baby is just eyeballing you around the store.
that's it, Jason. You've got a very bright light. You're an older soul. I feel it. And you've reincarnated in many lives, I can tell. So that's why. That's why the
I always
kids.
felt I was an alien. I know that. Let's see, my ride's here. Yeah.
I love the shirt. I wish I could get one. I'll
Yeah.
trade some shirts with you if you can.
I'm probably gonna throw my wife because I own so many different T-shirts, and I just ordered another one for my show next Sunday. I have to because I got Paul Wallace on, and he's a big Ancient Aliens guy, and I'm a big Ancient Aliens guy, and I had to get the Ancient Aliens guy shirt for it. I don't be in big trouble probably with my wife, but that's all right.
But you know, why do we call them aliens? I mean, that's
Semantics.
Yeah, I know because I've had past lives on other planets, and these are just different life forms. The planet was created. They may look a little different than us.
I know me and you could probably get some deep conversations about this.
Oh,
I'm going to
yeah.
redirect it so we can get a little more people an idea how this journey kind of really got going for you with
Yeah.
like the orbs and the things that started happening around you that really kind of opened your eyes to this behind the veil, you know.
Well, thank you for redirecting because I could talk to you for
Right, I know we could. That's my job here. I need to make sure we stay on top.
So, Boo Boo died. I was distraught, and I had read one book called Ascension Through Orbs by Diana Cooper, and so I knew a little bit about orbs. So I asked the universe that night in 2020 that my dog could stay with me, and I started taking pictures with my iPhone. I took a picture of my dog on her deathbed, and the next day when I downloaded the pictures, I saw an orb on my dog's head, a green and red orb, a beautiful orb. And then I looked at the pictures I took in my yard that night, just shooting pictures in the sky. And I started seeing orbs, and my dog's face was in those. And my dog's face was in the orbs. It was
So
around.
well, like when you zoom into the orb, you can see the dog's face in the orb.
Yes. Yep. I was just taking random pictures with my iPhone with the flash on into the darkness behind myself, my house. And then I started seeing these orbs, which gave me great comfort that my dog may have died, the heavy body, but the light body was still with me. So it gave me incredible comfort.
I used to do, residential paranormal investigations, and
Oh, wow.
the number one thing as a paranormal investigator I have people come up to me or show me is a picture of an orb, right? And I will say this, 90% a lot of times what I see is dust. But I've had people show me pictures. I'm like, I can't say that's dust. Why? Because there's something unusual in the corona of the orb. The coloration, there is an image of a face in it. I've seen those. And I can't. And then my friend, spiritual medium Katrina Cooper, would do things like this. Take a picture right now. It's right here. And she holds out her hand. And guess what's in her hand? An orb. One thing I've speculated about this is that knowing what I know about cameras and that, it's hard for me not to go as a paranormal investigator. I watch DVRs hours on end of cameras, and I see dust all over the place flying around, stuff like that. So that's where as an investigator, our minds go to, oh, it's all dust, right? But then I see things like with Katrina, and I see the pictures like you described with your dog, and I'm like, oh. The thing is, dust is attracted to static electricity. And if
Well,
we're dealing with an electromagnetic phenomenon,
right.
of spirits that somehow affect the electromagnetic spectrum and cause static electricity. I've seen it happen on an investigation. Then dust could be attracted to them in a sense, or part of it. That could be part of it. I don't know, but that's where people, when you hear orbs as a paranormal investigator, a lot of my fellow investigators will be like, but I'm very open to it because I've seen evidence like you're talking about, that there's something more to it. And a communication built up like you're talking about. I've seen other groups like the one you were in that like they do, like they were able to communicate through this.
Well, we share consciousness. I did with the orbs, and orbs I call spirit emanations. So picture yourself on an airplane at night. You have a window seat and it's dark, and you look down at the ground and you see a road and you see two headlights. You know that intuitively that's a car or a bus, and you know somebody's driving it. Well, that's what an orb is. An orb is a spirit emanation. Now there is lens flare. There are these dust things that happen, and when people show those to me, I always try to encourage them and get excited about it because they're just starting a journey of understanding what orbs are. But some are fake. Some are, but
well, I would say fake. Misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's not fake. It's just that it's
part of the camera's.
Right. It's just misidentification, not understanding how cameras work for people. And there's nothing wrong. I don't get, upset with people, or I try to, be very lighthearted about it. And not, I can't be 100% positive what they got isn't paranormal. To me, some people are, no, 100% it's a dust. I can't say that every time, for things. And I've seen things, like I said, that to me, there's no way that's dust. That's something else. Especially when pollen can cause coloration. Pollen in the air, outside photos, you can get some coloration from that, but inside a home, you shouldn't have that much. I mean, you can get particles in the air. There's fibers that are in the air and can cause coloration, but most of the time you're not going to get that coloration in a photo with orbs inside a house. It's dust. It's going to be white. And I've seen where there's this beautiful coloration in these orbs that I can't explain.
Well, and that, Jason, is, like I said, a spirit emanation. There's somebody driving that orb. There is a spirit. The orbs are the transport system of the universe. That's how our souls move to and from. When you look at near-death experiences, a lot of people remember an orb somewhere in that whole mix. So
I believe it because I've seen, I can see auras around people and I see energy. And one of the things in my early 20s, when I started getting heavily in meditation, I started seeing these like whitish, bluish lights flying around people. And I'd see them come in and out of people's heads and then do a spark and turn into somebody's like a translucent face. So to me, I realized then, and I had a medium tell me, well, what you're seeing is spirits. Those are spirits. Those little white lights, those blue lights, those are spirits. They're all over. I'm like, that's true. I mean, there's like spirits all around us. Like
there are
millions, trillions, it's some kind of energy.
Well, there are. And, about 20, 30, 40 years ago, the spirit world decided to grab our attention by allowing cameras to have, with their technology, access to being able to photograph them with the sensors that we have. So that was the spirit world working behind the scenes so that humans had more access to them. Before that, it was that green ectoplasm and some things like that they did.
The earliest spiritual movements of the 1900s, they had ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Right. And it was really, I'm so fascinated by that because most people write it off, that was just the spiritualist fakery fraudsters of the day. I can't write it off as that. I can't, because there's evidence that it's not. There are things that, I'm sorry, there's something that was going on in that time with ectoplasm that really fascinates me.
Well, I'm a spiritual spokesman. I've been authorized to tell you quite a bit. So that's part of my reincarnation on the ground game right now with this new golden age that's coming. So yeah, the ectoplasm was part of it. And now then they gave us access through our cameras to be able to see these beautiful orbs that could help us and show us the journey that souls take.
All right, have you ever seen the skull experiment?
No.
Documentary? You should. I highly recommend you should watch it. Robin McVoy is his name. He's passed away. Was part of that. I was friends with him on Facebook. He was in England. I wanted to get him on the show. I couldn't. I wish I could have, because it's one of my favorite documentaries. And it's about a group of trans mediums that would meet on a weekly basis at the same time, every time. And they did this for years. And they built up this communication. And they were talking to, Thomas Edison and other people on the other side. They were working on the other side, right? Like you're talking to make this happen, make that communication happen.
Absolutely. And Thomas Edison in this communication with these others is very normal to me. And you know, everybody has the ability to connect in some way, and may be a little different than the other person, but the spirit world is opening the door to being able to connect more easily to the fourth and fifth and sixth dimension from the third dimension that we live in, the heaviness of our earth, and this earthly plane.
You were talking about the synchronicities before too. I would talk about this show not long ago about how I believe that's God. That's my belief in the force or God communicating to you every day in different ways. And if you open your eyes to it, you start to see the messages that there's this force trying to communicate something to you
I love
all the
it.
time.
I mean, I love you. You are exactly right. And this is a big distinction for your listeners or viewers, is that there are some very popular books written that speak to the brain as being the creator of any world that we want. And if you want heaven, you'll create a heaven. If you want this, you can create that. It's all in your brain. But no, it's very important that we understand there is a creator. There is a power that is higher than us in this, that controls this whole universe of wonderful spirit beings and makes all this stuff happen. To your point.
The reason I have my belief in a higher power like that is because I had a moment where I was being, some people would look at it as demonically attacked. I don't know. It was a shadow person. It was evil, parasitic, and it attacked me for months. And in the moment of being levitated up off the top of my bed, this thing attacking me, I croaked out, "Help me, God." And this presence came into the room, filled it with light, and I was the most peaceful moment in my existence at that moment. I couldn't feel more love and understanding, non-judgment.
Oh,
Took out months away of terror, and suicidal thoughts were just gone in an instant.
That is so beautiful, Jason. Yeah, spiritual warfare. There is dark energy, but you know what? As you experience, the light always win. And when you experience God or a higher spiritual being that comes,
it took me years to accept it. Actually, it took me years to accept that's what happened to me.
It took me years when I started. So with the orbs, I started also eventually seeing people and things in them. And at first I was scared because I thought I'd opened a door to something I shouldn't see because of Hollywood and all the movies. So I stopped doing video and pictures for a few months because I was scared of what I was seeing.
I get
but
that.
I eventually started seeing all these things in the orbs, people. And I started seeing animals, and I started seeing all these other things to the point that you make, that spiritual warfare, there is dark energy, but the light always wins. But I was starting to see all these things that were behind the veil.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there are beautiful things behind the veil, but I also do. I have to, I've had friends, mystics of their own, that are more lighthearted or more, let's say, oh no, let's not talk about that. Like they don't want to look at it. I'm like, you have to be aware of it. There are things out there, parasitic, call it demonic or whatever. There are dark things out there, and I think they're very closely connected to addictions. It's not to blame anything on it or say that demons are causing people's addiction. I'm not like that one, what's that guy's name? Oh, I can't think of his name. It's like, let go on the demons of cocaine, no. But I think there is something parasitic there. It feeds on the destruction when humans being plagued by this spiritually.
Well,
A
I
battle
think
that happens.
there is a spiritual battle, but I want to overemphasize that the light always wins, as it did in the case your night when the shadow person came to you, and that um, this dark energy is attracted to the mishaps and the things that we do that darken ourself and our soul. But there, even when you're in your worst addiction or you're a mass murderer and you've killed 50 people, there is a punishment for all that, but there also is always the opportunity with the angels for spiritual salvation.
That's what my experience. Like I said, I don't belong to any religion. I believe in a higher power because all I can know is what I experienced, and what I experienced was something that it had no judgment. That's what I'm saying. It had no judgment. Doesn't mean people don't pay for their consequences or what they do, but this thing had no judgment, only love.
That's the currency on the other side, Jason. It's in the book. Love is the currency on the other side. It's exactly it. You're like my brother in travel here. Everything
Well,
you're
that's what I'm
saying
saying.
is correct.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's like, for people, like, I'm a really big fan of Jesus. I think, that's what he was trying to tell people. We can get into all, that's a whole other philosophical conversation and all that, but I don't call myself a Christian, I think that's what Buddha was trying to tell us. Those are two big religions for me. I have in my house The Last Supper, Salvador Dali up, his painting of that, and I have the Tibetan Buddhist mural. Those are two big mural paintings in my living room because it reflects my, openness to these ideas of, love and compassion are the way.
Love is key. That's
the material world and everything I live in is an illusion. I think that's what both Buddha and Jesus were trying to teach us.
Well, and I'm actually very, very close to the spirit entity that was Jesus, and I can't tell you anymore. But Jesus just loved. He lived. He loved. What's happened to Jesus since his life, and what they've done to him. So do you think he would ever? They talk about the rapture. Do you think Jesus could come back today? What would happen to him?
I don't believe in the rapture, but
I don't either.
Nothing against somebody who does. I'm not going to get into that whole
I'm not either.
thing. I think he'd be very disappointed. I would hope he would be. But I don't think that's how Jesus comes. I think Jesus is an awakening movement of people. Waking up to what he, the way is the way he lived and treated others. That's the way. And people can wake up to that knowing. I think there's a lot there that we don't know in the New Testament because it's been translated and used for agendas. But through the New Testament, no matter what, there are his parables. And the reason he used parables was to make you think, not let somebody tell you what reality is, make you think and know what's here inside. And I think that's why it's, even through all the manipulation of the New Testament, it still stands and changes and helps people.
I think, Jason, that, I've done a lot of study about religion, and I think a good position in what Jesus would want is that a lot of respect for religion. So two-thirds of the earth worships something. And religion over the ages has done so many wonderful things for people. And even today, I was driving to my lake place, and I must have gone by 10 churches on Sunday, and all these wonderful people that show up, and they're good people. They're following a good
community
path. Exactly. All the beautiful communities. That's it. And they're caring and they love. So I think mystics can work hand in hand with people that are religious to enhance their journey.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I've known people that are pure Christians. They would disagree with me on a lot of my biblical views, but we can have a conversation and be kind to each other and care about each other, even though we disagree.
And learn from each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've had those conversations with people that are pure Christian. They're still open to talk, and they believe in what they believe, and I believe in what I believe, and there's
that's
no
what
problem.
Jesus would want today.
Right. They understand that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The New Testament can be manipulated, do whatever, but the power of what he did get through to his disciples still bleeds through. The truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
But I also, like I said, I believe that there's a lot missing. I believe Jesus was trying to tell people about reincarnation and that Yahweh wasn't their God and all this other stuff. But that's a whole other conversation for another night.
Well, yeah, I'd love to. Hopefully, I really enjoy our conversation. I really enjoy you. I hope one day I can come back because I have so much.
Oh,
more
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad because there's so much more to this in the book where I can keep getting, this is Paranormal Soup. We can go down a lot of rabbit holes. I know, but this is a great book. I'm really enjoying it. And this journey you got, from, we were just talking about death. I think was last Sunday, how death can, the loss of a loved one, be it a pet, as horrible and as it is, death is transformative.
Well,
and that's what it's a doorway. It's an invitation for change and transformation. That's what it is in the tarot deck. If you get the death card, right? It's not about, oh, you're going to die, right? For you, the loss of your pet.
Well, and you know what? It for us, and I know you agree with me, we know it's a transition to continue your spiritual journey, but it is sad because we're leaving behind our family, people that loved us, our pet. We care so much about them, but animals also, Jason, as you probably believe, have souls, and they also have a journey, and they reincarnate and continue to progress.
Right now we have a French bulldog rescue. She's a rescue because that was my condition to my wife. I said, we're going to get another pet. You don't want a puppy, right? So fine, that's great. We get a rescue. I knew she wanted a French bulldog. I'm like, oh, good luck with that. You're never going to get a rescue French bulldog. Boom, did she? She totally did. She got like the sweetest cuddle bug French bulldog we could ever ask for. Like, we needed this dog, but I swear to you, when I was really little, we lived in this trailer. I remember this. I wanted a pound puppy. The reason I wanted a pound puppy, because I had this dream about this dog. And it was the color that she is. And I think it was her. Mm-hmm. See, I've had a lot of dreams that come way true later. I still don't believe in predestination. But, dear God, I swear I dreamt of Kiki when I was a little child. I dreamt of my wife and us together when I was a kid. I was saying, there's a lot of stuff like that. I don't believe in predestination. I don't want to get down another rabbit hole. But, she was meant to come in my life, in our lives. That's what I'm saying. When we saw her, when we went to this pet store, there's all these different people around. It's an open public place. Mm-hmm. We come around the corners. Kiki, as soon as she saw us, she ran right to us. Like she knew us.
Well, I do believe in predestination, and I do believe everything happens for reasons. In my life, time and time again, in the orbs. So the orbs started showing me pictures of things in the future, pictures of myself in the orbs. And the one thing that was always in all these orbs was this beautiful lady with black hair. And I can almost cry every time I talk about her. I called her Carol. I thought she was a spirit guide, but she ended up being the Lady of the Light. And the Lady of the Light is, the Catholics call her Mary, and then Buddhists call her something else. She was reincarnated.
Like Sophia or Isis, Sophia of the Gnostics.
Absolutely.
Isis. Right. I'm very familiar with this because I've had an experience with the Lady of the Light myself. But
the Lady of the Light works very, very closely with me every day. I've reincarnated with her so much. And she's the divine feminine energy. And she's just so beautiful and so wonderful.
We're gonna hang on that thought. We got to go to commercial break. And if you're all right with it, hanging out with us, we'll open up the phone lines, see if we get anybody who wants to call and join this conversation tonight, Tim. So hang on there.
Thank you, Jason. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, we're going to go to a short commercial break, and we'll be back with our guest. Tim Malone. Why am I missing it? There we go. Like looking for my buttons here on my board. Can't find anything right. Our guest, Tim Malone, tonight. We're talking about his book, Behind the Veil, One Man's Journey from Opioid Addiction to Spirituality and Beyond. Really enjoying this book. You guys got to check it out. Jamie's sharing the links, the Amazon link in the chat room for us tonight. Thank you guys. Hang in there. We'll be right back after the short commercial break.
Conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift, a refreshing and fun read. I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest is Tim Malone. He is the co-author of Behind the Veil, One Man's Journey from Opioid Addiction to Spirituality and Beyond. We're talking about his journey. I've been reading this book, his dog's death kind of started this journey with him, where he started communicating to the other side. And that's how a lot of people start, be it losing a loved one or a pet or something like that, opens their mind up to asking, what is there? Is my loved one with me? I've seen that start a lot of people's journeys, and you need something spiritually to overcome addiction. It's a horrible, horrible thing to go through. I've seen so many struggle with it, and I honestly do believe you have to find a higher power. You got to lock into something like this. You got to start asking these big questions, start looking deeply, because it's going to be a battle. If you're out there struggling with it now, I pray for you, because it is a hard battle, but you can do it. You can win that battle. There's a higher power that's rooting for you out there. You just gotta find it. I'm really enjoying this guest tonight, Tim Malone. If you guys want to join the conversation, I've already seen somebody's trying to call in, and I haven't got the Do Not Disturb off. I'm trying to get that right now. Hold on. Lines are open. Now they're open. I already missed a call, I think. But the call in, join this conversation tonight with our guest, Tim Malone. Let's go ahead and get right back into it. All right, lines are open, guys. I know somebody I just missed a phone call. So sorry. I was trying to get the lines open, and I was slacking there. So try calling again. We're going to keep talking, and we'll take your call. Just remember, if you call in and it hangs up on you, here's a call. Usually it means that somebody else is on the line, so just try calling back in after they get off. All right, Tim, are you ready to get into it? I already got a phone call. I'll be going to mute you first. There you go. All right, let's see who we got on the line.
Michael.
Hey, Michael. How you doing, Mike?
Michael. Tim, I think I know you from some spiritual lifetime. I don't know where.
I think you do. I think I can even picture you.
Yeah, very good, very good. I have a word for you, but let's get to business. I think I want to mention two things. The first thing, I don't want to go to cognitive, graduate level cognitive psychology.
Mike, you can go very deep here, so remember you got a little bit of time.
Yeah, right now.
Love you, man.
We don't have any. We never have time on this planet. But I asked Professor. I says, "What is it? What can change somebody to quit? With addiction? Addiction is it's unknown. It's something. It's the monkey, on your shoulder." But and the professor said it has to. It's a life-changing event. It's life-threatening. It is miraculous. It's got an essence of spirit. It's a rescue. It's a life. You're going to be somebody else. You're going to be completely changed. You were dead and somehow you're alive. You're a new person. Okay. It's unbelievable what it is. What recovering. I had two people die, my mother and my sister. That's the way I learned. Okay.
Yeah.
To make a long story short, I understand yours was fentanyl. Alcohol is a very it's evil. It's the devil himself. It destroys lives.
I've seen that destroy lots of lives, sadly.
It is. I don't even want to go there, okay? But addiction is addiction. That's the first point I wanted to make. But coming out through the other side, huh? Let's go there now. This is the second point. Break on through to the other side. The Doors, Jim Morrison, right? Break on through to the other side, right?
He broke
that's
through,
where the right. That's where the purpose comes, that we find ourselves, huh? That's where I found myself. I think I came to this world we all did, okay? We all came back to this world. But you can get this reason, this purpose, if you break on through. If you break on through, you can get your purpose and live that purpose and share that purpose. That's what I'm doing right now with you, and you're doing it. God bless you with us, So that being said, that's the spiritual aspect, the purpose, and then along the way, it's just a miracle. Life is just a miracle. But anyway, let me let you speak, and then I got a word for you before we go. Okay? So go ahead.
Well, sure. Thank you. Very eloquently said about breaking through the other side, and I think I carry a message from the Holy Ones regarding what you just said, and that is they are now allowing us to access the fourth dimension energies more easily than ever before. We've switched from the Pisces era to Aquarian, which is where we're going to use our heart together with our mind and our ego to harmonize those two together, but using our heart more often to access this higher calling. So as you said, breaking through to the other side, to me, means we're accessing our higher self and that spark that's divine that we all have, but it's usually covered up. And it can be covered up through addiction and drugs and other things. But when we find it, like you sound like you have, it's so beautiful, the journey and the things you experience. And Jason has alluded to it in his life. When you have these spiritually transformative events, they're just beautiful and they're special, and you want other people to celebrate those with you. But beautifully said, Michael.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. I have a devotion to angels. Jason knows about it. I pray. Being on this planet is a great opportunity because it can magnify what we can't do when your spirit is total energy. It is now, but when you transfer, when your soul comes out of this body, and you become, and that energy gets transferred, we can't offer up intent. We don't have this intentional love, this faith love that it's so powerful for the spirits who have passed on, who have went before us, right? So we don't realize. I realize this so much, and I have this devotion, and it's now solidified. It's my purpose. It's the rest of my life. Okay, but I'm glad I'm able to share this with you guys. I mean, I mean, really, it's great. Whether you think I'm kooky or I don't know, out there somewhere, it doesn't matter, man. I think everything's meant to be. There's a purpose, and in this moment, I'm very grateful for that. Anyway. So let me let you go. I don't want to take up the whole show here. Let me leave Tim with his word, and this is going to give you strength, Tim, going forward for the rest of your life, and the rest, until the next life or the next stage. Here it is. There's 4 things. So 4 is an important number, probably for you. 3 is my number, but 4 may be for you. The first thing is love. Have this, put this forward. Love, patience, faith, and endless mercy. If you could, you should write those down and look at those every day. Love, patience, faith, and endless mercy. And you should look at those every day.
Well,
and that's the word for you.
The 4, well, no, that's beautiful. Thank you. And 4 actually is one of my angel numbers, the 724, but the 4 especially. So it's funny you brought that up because that's my key number, 4.
Oh, you called it, Mike.
You called it.
I got it.
Thank you, Mike.
I got it. I told you you're a brother from another mother, didn't I?
Yeah, you've got some other planet in you too. Some other planets, I feel. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I
can't wait.
Mike can go down some deep rabbit holes, my friend.
That's okay.
Well, Jason is another angel. Okay. He's another angel, and he's got 2 angels too. His little kids. But go ahead anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about me or my kids being angels, but
oh, you are.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Man, you're blessed, man. Thank you for calling in.
Mike.
All right.
Very nice.
Yeah, and Tim, God bless you, and thank you for your testimony and your breaking through the other side, and you're going to do so much. And you're gonna see all the choirs of angels in heaven are gonna love you for it and rejoice in your life, you know. So God bless you, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound. I don't want to take the whole show. Okay.
All right, Mike.
Well,
Have
I
a
love
good
you,
one.
Mike. Thank you.
You too. I love you too. We'll see you now.
Right.
Good night.
Deep thoughts by Mike. Yeah, they can get very deep. But that's why I love his calls. But yeah, you know, we're getting into this tonight. You know, people, I see people sometimes in their beginning of that journey. You know, when they get into the spirit realm. I'm still in I'm on the journey too. You know, we all are. I learn stuff every day. You know, I feel like I'm taught about, and I still have lots of questions. You know, that's just me. But I have a faith that there's much more. You know, I've lived before and I'll live again probably, and I believe that there's much more than just this one existence. You know, I don't have faith in a lot of things, but that I do.
I do too, Jason. I couldn't agree with you more. It's when you love and you believe something so much, it's hard. I mean, our job as light workers, you and I, and Mike and the others, is to try to spread the word and try to love people as much as we can, regardless of their circumstances, and be a light worker. It's a very important time on the earth. The holy ones are doing a lot of work to help us move into a higher light. So it's a critical time.
I feel like we're in critical times, and it's very, I had some very gruesome stories I didn't add to that. I talked a little bit about one before you showed up, and it's like, there's evil in the world, there's darkness, and we're seeing it every day, but you got to find, like I said, I believe there's a higher power trying to communicate to you.
Yeah, we just tip those scales back the other way.
And that's what I'm looking for.
Well, if we get enough people sharing consciousness, we can do it. But that's the hardest thing to explain to people who are on a journey or just they're trying to understand us, is that it's a free will planet. Bad things can happen to really good people. And a lot of times that's part of the soul's experience. But a lot of it is dark energy too that just take hold.
Well, I saw somebody say, is like, I believe like you do, Jason, that we're not predestined. And that's the thing. I like you say, you believe in predestination and I've seen the future myself, just say, well, yeah, there must be a predestination, but I believe in multiple predestinations, multiple roads you could possibly take.
I do too.
That's what I see it as. The future's always in motion.
Well, yeah, predestination with free will.
Exactly. Right. That's exactly what I believe.
Yeah.
Predestination with free will.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that the people, was it predestined or is it free will? You know, like I had a psychic on here who was like, no, it's all predestined. I don't believe that. You know, I just don't.
When you follow the signs and you know how the universe speaks and you know how to speak back to it, you just get this inner knowing and you just know and you follow your
Like I said, God talks to you, man.
path.
You just gotta
Kind
be
of
able to
like
hear it.
your own adventure books when we were kids.
You know, I think that's all of our journey is building that relationship with that higher power that just wants to love you and support you.
And we get the roadmaps every day.
Exactly, and whether it's God, you reach a co-creation with God, or it can be the Blessed Mother, Isis, the Divine
Well, we were
Feminine.
talking about that
Jesus.
before you left.
Yeah.
This idea, I had this very beautiful dream once that was really, it was like I was meeting the Virgin Mary, you know, the Sophia or Isis, this great feminine entity, whatever. And it was like I woke up from it completely moved. And I got really fascinated in like Gnosticism and the idea, you know, of this, you know, female energy, or they called Sophia, you know, and in other cultures, you know, how much we rewrote history, or the victors did in a sense, in religion, and in that how they tried to mitigate the feminine in religion and spirituality. You know how they, you know how big it was part of religions, and then how it was just slowly
It
put
was
away.
Muhammad, really. Muhammad, with the Muslim religion, was a very, very appreciative guy. Women were very important in his early stages.
Yeah, like I said, it's the victors that write it later. It doesn't mean Muhammad had it wrong. It means the people who rewrote it later, translated it, told the story later, might have got stuff wrong. You know, it's the people that preach it in a lot of different religions.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, I just think, you know, we as humans screw it up. We get these special ones like Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus that come to us and they give us the divine truth, you know, and then it gets passed down and we interpret and screw it up. You know, this is the way it goes, I guess, you know. But that's the thing. That's why I think, you know, the wisdom that is passed down by these people is told in parables and things to make people think, because they, you know, and that it'll translate millions of years down the road. People can still understand the parable, you know, because it opens their mind up.
Well, and they haven't forgotten us. So while Jesus is not going to reincarnate as Jesus, because he probably wouldn't live very long with the people that would want to kill him, maim him, assassinate him, which religion would claim him, what's right, what's wrong. But they haven't forgotten us. They're doing things behind the scenes, and the Christ energy, believe it or not, is very much at work.
I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have had near-death experiences where they describe seeing a Christ-like figure, somebody who communicates that they're Christ to them or God, and they, you know, be it Jesus or whatever. You know, people have these experiences, and they can't be ignored.
They're
something
real.
to it.
They're real. I'm here to tell you they're real, and the Christ energy lives on, and it's fascinating how powerful that energy is and how it transcends life and death, and it can come to people in car wrecks, and the same with the Blessed Mother. There are so many people that, I mean, her energy is just,
You know,
I just cry when I work with her. She's just the best.
The most we've talked about this event. I'm trying. My brain is this late at night. You know, all the coffee. I can't think of it now. Dang it. Famous event. Yeah, no. Famous event. Fatima. In Spain.
That was the final apparition at Fatima.
Yeah, Fatima. Thank you.
And I had an apparition of the Blessed Mother from Fatima at a Kroger grocery store.
At a Kroger?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I've been interested in that case because there's pictures that have come out over the years that actually show UFO, in my opinion. There, and I don't know if it's alien related, like semantics. Like I said, these people, you hear senators now talking about the disclosure thing that they're extra dimensional, whatever, semantics. But hundreds of people saw this besides the first 3 children. They saw
there
these
were
events.
there were 4 apparitions, and so I found a statue hidden behind St. Agnes Church in Louisville. It was right out in the open. They cut the grass. Brother Jerry cuts the grass, rakes the leaves, and there's all these bushes. And within the bushes was a statue of the Blessed Mother, which everybody says they don't know it was there, didn't know it was there, can't believe nobody saw it. I found it, I uncovered it. And the day I uncovered it was October. It was 2017, and it was the date of the final apparition of Fatima. Was the date that I uncovered the statue, not knowing it at that time that I did it. But that's the day I hired my yard guys to come uncover this, and it was assigned to me. And that's when she also showed herself in a month or so at the Kroger store, and she appeared to me in the same dress as what they show for her at Fatima, with a small child at her side in the Kroger grocery store.
She also had the small child at her side.
Yes, she did. They were both barefoot.
See, there could be people have had these experiences like this, and generally within the Catholic religion, a lot of people have. But this is something that's touched, I think, thousands of years, different cultures, this feminine, whatever this is. You built a relationship with this entity. What is it that you call her?
The divine feminine.
Yeah.
And she
But you had a name for her, you actually, when you first started communicating.
Well, at first, I called her Carol, but then I had a past life with her in Egypt where she was at the temple of the Philae Temple of Light, and she was the mistress or whatever you would call it at the temple teaching. I went there on a felucca down the Nile and spent time with her. The divine feminine, Isis, all these different names from all these different cultures and all these different times. They have different names for her, but she's beautiful. I have orbs, pictures of her. Every orb has her in these. She's very, very important to me, and I love her so much. She's just the most beautiful person.
But she's incarnated before.
Oh, yeah. She's incarnated hundreds, if not thousands of times in different planets and different lives. She sits right below God, and the divine masculine would be the Christ energy, and these sit with God at a certain place. And these energy pools are so strong that they can vibrate out into people's lives at car wrecks. They can be apparitions. There are people that have had profound viewing of her. Who's the actor? Is it Wahlberg that has the connection with her too?
I don't know. Mark Wahlberg did convert to be a Catholic.
Yeah, but I'm not promoting.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's all I know about him in spirituality.
Yeah. But she is. So many people speak of the Blessed Mother or Mary, and it's the energy is profound. And Jesus, look at Jesus. The books, and every day, what would Jesus do? And all these churches I went by today, it's all about Jesus and the cross. These are powerful spiritual energies that can help us in this world.
I always thought it shouldn't be a cross; it should be an empty tomb as the main symbol of Jesus. The cross to me is like he died for our sins because we murdered him. I get that, but the original sin is something I don't believe in.
I don't either. I just try to avoid those because I don't want to get into. I don't want to get assassinated for my
right. Well, theological discussions, with people, because people can't bear to ask a question or think about something.
Without you saying it, I agree exactly with what you're saying. That was miscast totally.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's so much more. So much, I wish I had a church I could go to, a community, right, to ask these questions and commune on this stuff. But it's hard. You like you said, you can't become a mystic.
Well, there's a great article that was just published 6 months ago, and I think it was Washington Post, and it says America wants a God, and that somebody did a study of religion around the world and what's happening to it and all the movement away from religion. But what they found in all these people that made this movement to Reiki or salt caves or all these different modalities is the one thing that they miss, and you said it earlier, Jason, is community. The one thing people miss that they did get with religion a lot of times was a community of love. And so if religion can figure that out, people can come back. And if the church can modify itself, I think because of the community it provides, it could be very powerful.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This is my community here doing this show. This is my church, pretty much.
It is.
It
is your church.
We get to talk about things that I don't. Otherwise, I'd drive everybody else nuts around me if, or to think I'm weird. This is my night to do it.
Too.
My night to commune with others on these topics. Because you got to have a conversation. You got to be able to talk about these things, our experiences. How are we going to, grow, learn if we can't talk about our experiences? And so many people are afraid to. Be it because of religious dogma or scientific dogma.
I think there's something I have to tell everybody is that what they want from us is they want us to be on a spiritual journey, a spiritual path. And what that means is just goodness and love and being kind to people. Your gateway to heaven and progressing with your karma and yourself when you die is just like you said, this is your church, this is your place. You can be dirt biking with a bunch of guys and you're good and you care about people. That's all it takes. You don't need to go every Sunday. You don't have to donate money. It's just being on a spiritual path. That is the way it works on the other side.
Yeah, and I honestly think that's like if you really, I think if you look at what the greats like Jesus and Buddha were trying to teach people is that.
It is. He was, yeah, exactly. Jesus was just a good guy, and he spoke to people, and he spoke exactly what you and I are just saying. He lives within you and lives within I, and as part of our job is to spread that. All the other stuff that was written about him and the parables and all those things, yeah, fine, but he was really just a good guy that you'd love to be friends with. It's really who he was. I know him very well.
I don't know him very well, but I like I said,
Yes,
he's a man after my own heart.
Well, you do know him better than you think.
What did it say? I missed it.
Oh yeah, you know him better than you think.
Oh, the Universalist Church. I had a friend try to get me to go to that. Yeah. I don't know. I've had a friend try to get me to go to one of those. She went for a while. I don't know. I have nothing against the Universalist Church. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. I have people recommend a spiritualist church too. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'll fit in anywhere is how I always feel. But
well, no, and maybe Jason, you're doing it. Like you said, this is your church. This is the people like Mike that called. This is it. This is doing good work. This is love. This is doing the things you should be doing. This is good stuff.
Yeah. And that love too is the, cherish and be grateful for the people around you. Because our time is limited here. Doesn't mean we don't experience other adventures with these people in other forms or existences. But your time and your experience with this incarnation, with their incarnations, is limited. And enjoy it and be grateful for it. That's the things I try to remind myself.
Well, and if everybody would do that in the world, which is the way we're going. As bad as the world is now with fear and what's happening, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a new golden age coming where
I hope you're right. I hear that all the time. 10 years of doing this show, I hear about a golden age. It's hard to picture. It's always darkest before the dawn, right? It's hard to picture golden age. I'll be honest. But I've had a lot of guests on here say it, and I hope it's true. I really do. I hope we do reach a golden age. This is the dark. I hope this is the darkest before the dawn, but I'm afraid it might get darker.
Yeah, we have a few more years of some darkness, but I'm telling you, it's coming. That's what the holy ones tell me.
I hope you're right. Because we need some radical shifts in civilization. I think mentality wise. It's the way we perceive the world.
Well, the free will planet that we are has gone too far. It didn't go the way that they wanted. They're not happy with this, and so they're starting to make some changes.
Well, free will applies to anybody and everything, right? So they can leave other actors, in fact, to manipulate the situation. Like I said, there are things out there that I've seen that people would classify as evil or demonic or whatever. There's forces out there, I feel, at play that are trying to hinder humans.
Well, I have pictures of dark energy from all my thousands of hours of shooting orbs. I have pictures of dark energy flying around. I don't know if it was attracted to me for some reason, but you're correct, it is. But if you believe that there's something greater than us and that they can take souls and they can reincarnate and there are apparitions and there's a Mary and a Jesus, if you believe all that, you have to think of how brilliant they are, and you have to think they have the power to be able to change this earth gradually into something that's very much a kinder, gentler place than it is.
What I do see, the only hope I have is I see more and more people waking up.
They are.
I do.
I do too.
See that. It gives me hope.
Yep.
But
it is.
We still got a long road ahead of us, I think. I mean, I always say I wish people could have like either that spiritual experience I had where I felt God came into my room and saved me that night, or have even just the reincarnation visions, the two that I had, just to open their minds up to the possibility that there's so much more into this reality you see in front of you right now.
Well, like my NDEs open me up big time to those things.
You're muffled, Jamie, on that. Say again.
My NDEs open me up big time to those things.
Right. Oh yeah. I hope that doesn't take a near-death experience for somebody. Don't do that. I hope nobody has to go through that.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's but that does, like we were talking last week with our guests, it was about death and that, and death. Here I'm going to swear. I don't swear on the show often, but death cuts through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And when somebody dies or somebody has a near-death experience, when death is there, it's transformative.
There's only one truth when you die, and that's behind the veil. And I speak a lot about that in the book. I go into what's behind the veil, the angelic realms. I describe who you meet, what happens to you when you die.
Well, can we talk a little bit about that? I mean,
sure,
a little bit. Can we go into it? So, like, what is your thoughts on that? Like, when somebody dies, what is that process?
Well, the process is that when you die, obviously you leave your heavy body and you have your light body. And the first place you go, there's an assist by the seraphim angels. They're the workhorses of the angels in the angelic realm. But the first stop you make when you go to the light, if you've chosen a spiritual path and if that's what you want to do, earthbound souls are people that didn't know they got killed or were in a car wreck, or they chose not to want to do to be kind or to do good things for people. So there's really no place for them on a spiritual path, but that's another topic. You asked me about what happens. The first group of people you'll see, they get assembled right around the time you're dying is your family that has passed. You'll see them. and I have orbs with the family in it, greeting the souls as they move up. And then from there, you meet your soul family. You'll meet the people, your spirit guides, and the people that are around you, Jason, all the time that created some of these images and things that you saw. And you're really good at visions at night. Those are critical. Those are very vivid and important. So you'll meet your soul family and they'll review your life. You all will review what you did in this life, good or bad, and how that worked with the karma. And then you'll decide if you're going to continue through the schools of 7 mansion worlds and learn a lot more, because there's so much to learn on the other side, visit other planets, or then decide to reincarnate. And the earth is a great place to reincarnate because your soul has so many opportunities to get your heart broken, to love, to hate, to get all these experiences that other planets don't have. So that's the journey.
Just as long as it's not like defending your life of Albert Brooks. I have to have a lawyer, and like review this stuff. Like I've heard the life review, people from near-death experiences have experienced somewhat, a little bit of it. It seems like it, if it's like my experience what entered my room that night, it's going to be pretty, no judgments, just learning,
No, it's just
people
learning.
are pretty, yeah. But that's what I think a lot of people fear is like, oh, I don't want to, we all know our mistakes. We all know deep down the stuff that's going to be there, right? When the life review happens.
No, they love us so much. You don't have to worry about that.
Right. Well, that was what I felt. That's the one experience I had. I didn't have a near-death experience, but I felt like I was going to die. And that's what I felt. When my time comes, if that's what's there, what I felt is, it's going to be, it's all right. We last week, our guest was, I'm trying to think of his name. Sorry, my brain's not working right now. But he was an ICU doctor. And he worked with, people on their last days and families. And he experienced, seeing passings and miraculous events and all that, but
I bet that was fascinating.
Right, but we're talking about the transitioning, that the family members are there, and all this stuff that that people go through, and their final times, and a lot of people really are fighting for their life to survive, while you got others that just accept it. They know their time's up, and they're talking to family members that have passed away in their room. I saw somebody comment, "You're never alone when you die," and I believe that.
Well, a lot of
believe
people don't sleep at night. Some people, because they're scared of dying, they fear dying. They are petrified by dying because if you're somebody of no religious belief or spiritual belief, you think that when you die, that's you're done, and that's scary. And I get that.
For some people, though, for some people, it's scary to think of having an afterlife. Sorry, Jamie, hold on one. For some people, they're scared of an afterlife, I think, though. Some people want to believe that this is it. That's it. It's done. Not a lot. I'm not saying but I've met some people that I honestly think they're scared of the idea of an afterlife. They want to believe it is just this, and it's done. Sorry, Jamie, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying some people think it's like lights out and your worm food. That's it.
Yeah.
I know people like that think that,
I have family members that think like that.
Me too.
And when he dies, says he's going to be whisked off to be cremated. No ceremonies, no celebrations, no anything, no funeral, and that's it. You're done. So, that doesn't seem like a very good way to live.
I think what a waste.
I know.
Like, does the universe just waste that much experience? Is just gone? My one friend didn't believe in Christianity, or he's a Christian. He didn't believe in reincarnation at all. He's like, well, what's the point if you're reincarnated if you forget everything? I said, if I knocked you over the head and you had amnesia, would you still be you? I'm like, yeah.
Well, the purpose of the amnesia is, now when you're awakened, it's starting to be awakened like Jason you are, and I don't know about Jamie, but you're getting glimpses of those past lives, but you can't remember all these lives because some of the things are horrible. Some of the things you drowned. Some of the things.
Do you want to remember? Because the two visions I had were both deaths.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Me too.
Mine also, and fire's involved, so I don't really
Yeah.
like to think about it.
One I was beaten to death, and one I was shot. You know,
I was
like,
pushed into a volcano.
geez, see,
Yeah.
like, there's a reason you have amnesia, right? Nobody wants to remember being pushed in a volcano. Okay,
It's like a
you know,
protection your body does.
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, that's simply what it is, Jamie.
Yeah, I honestly believe that's the reason why you can't grow if you can't we got to put this stuff off to the side for now.
That's it.
Yeah.
You put it off the side for now. Your soul's here to experience what's going on, and it's part of your journey.
I think that in a way that's there's little clues in your life and things that synchronicities that happen that like little reminders maybe that to poke you like bring back why does this seem familiar to me, or deja vu, or these things that you get glimpses of your past life you don't even realize because it's God trying to tell you.
Jason, you should write a book. You've got it. You got it down pretty good.
I can't put all that into a book. I've tried. I got publisher. I've had friends that are publicists and they're like, "You got to write a book." I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I had somebody write
who
it
am
for
I?
me. I just recorded my thoughts and then they translated it and put it into words. So,
Yeah. I don't know. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. Like I've had a lot of crazy experiences, like, since my childhood and all that, but I don't have any answers. I just know what I know, what I see, and we come here, we're all learning from each other. Like I'm learning from you tonight from this, like I said, I'm really enjoying this book. And this journey you've had, you're building you built a communication to the other side. A lot of people, they don't experience that, they don't have that, that kind of, me neither. I don't. I have questions. I am no I have glimpses of that veil. I feel like I get to take a little glimpse behind the veil at times in my life. Where things happen or events and miraculous things I've seen. But they're just little glimpses. Like I don't get the answers that you're getting. So I think that's incredible. I really am enjoying this book. We do have another phone call if you're ready for another call.
Absolutely.
All right, Captain Dan, how you doing?
Hello, Jason and Tim and Jamie.
Hey, Dan.
Hey. Yeah, you were talking about synchronicity just a while ago, Jason, and I get what you're saying on that because it's kind of like the butterfly effect where something long ago will hit you in the future.
That's if you're time traveling and step on a butterfly, but okay.
Yeah, almost like it was placed there. So later on, you'd say, "Oh, or you'll learn from it and say, yeah, But yeah, you've been talking a lot about pets tonight too, and well, you probably know how I feel about angels and stuff, Jason, by now. But yeah, I believe that is very possible. But I think when you get a real special animal like that, I would think if, angels do exist, that would be the best outlet to use to interact with humanity is a dog or a cat, since they're the most prevalent, you know what I mean? Or anything like that. I don't know. I have a lot of weird stuff going on, Jason. So.
Come on, Dan. You always got weird stuff going on. It's all right. It's all right. That's why you're here.
It's like I've always had this thing with animals where, they would always interact with me. And this stuff all came, it came back around with, everything I've been through. And I was like, well, yeah. And, but yeah, I had a few really special pets. My first cat jumped from the adoption counter onto my shoulder and wouldn't leave.
Like I said, they choose you.
Yes, wouldn't leave until we got into the car, and then she just sat there, But yeah, it's a good cat. And then the cat that brought me and my wife together too. we found him in the yard. We nursed him back to health, and he had about 4 years before he got cancer in his jaw. So they were going to have to rebuild it, and they weren't sure if it even was going to work, and it's like, and then you know how that goes, and that vision's currently embedded in your mind, and but yeah, it's been coming back a lot lately, but.
I'm going to focus you in because I'm going to be coming up on a commercial break. Dan, do you have a question for Tim?
Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, I just wonder what you thought about angels and, cats, dogs that maybe decide to come here, or maybe they're not so far on the bottom of the chain. Some are maybe at the top of the chain, But.
Animals. One of the biggest things I've learned is how much they love animals, and animals are very, very, very well thought of in the spirit realm. And they also have souls, and they progress. I actually have a picture in an orb of the Animal King holding some animals in his arms. I call him the Animal King. I don't know what angel he is, but no, animals are very, very well thought of, Dan.
I got you, Tim. Yeah, I do believe in angels, and I think sometimes
I definitely believe the spirit world uses animals or the God to communicate to us. I've experienced that, and a couple times with my wife's grandmother and a cardinal. That was her way of communicating to both of us. It was a thing between her and her grandmother. They used to call them Red Jays, as a joke. When she was a little girl, but her grandmother, on the day she died, there was the Red Jay cardinal, really, sitting out right out on the perch the moment we had got the call, And then there's another time, I think birds are messengers. They definitely use birds. I've seen that.
Birds and the mind.
Yeah, I believe that.
Well, and I have a new boo-boo. I bought another, after we recovered, I bought another dog that I called Boo Boo, and it's the soul of my other dog. It's identical. Same everything. Yep. It chases squirrels, it jumps into the water. Yeah.
How that happens.
Yeah, I think sometimes our pets help guide a new pet to us too. It's not a reincarnation or anything. I feel that with our second cat my parents had, Six, was brought to us by our previous cat, Patches. She actually looked like Patches, but she wasn't a reincarnation or anything,
Well,
but I think she was brought to us because of the other cat. I swear.
You should have. There's some brilliant animal clairvoyants that speak to animals. Oh, they're great. I mean, when you hear the story of the animals when they've passed and how much they care about you and how much you're hurting, it's amazing.
Oh, I know. Hey, Dan, thank you for calling in, bud.
Yeah, guys, have a good night.
You too.
And thank you, Tim.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
I had a tabby and a gray cat set since high school. They lived about 22 years. I had them through a 10-year marriage and then another relationship, and I just thought, even though I'm a rescuer, that I was so attached to these cats, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, as they're getting older, the tabby starts getting kidney problems. All of a sudden, I'm not going to say how it happens, but I end up with this orange tabby and another gray cat. And they had babies. The other ones acted like the grandparents, but slowly after the others had passed away. But it was like they taught them their ways before they were gone.
Right, you talked about this, yeah.
They were really attached to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I swear,
true.
Kiki does things. Like, I swear to God, like, were you talking to Bella and Asia? Like my older dogs. Like they're still around teaching her things. I don't know. I do. I believe her. I mean, for one, I've always said, how can you not look into now cats? That's a whole other subject. Sorry, Jamie. She knows what I think about this. But when you look at a dog's eyes, you can't deny there's a soul there. Yes, I believe the same for cats, though. But I always joke that cats look like, yeah, but I'd eat you if I was big enough. But I was just saying, like, you look into a cat's or dog's eyes, you can see there's a soul there. There's something there. My cat, Patches, when she passed away, her spirit, I saw her. It was moonlight coming into the bedroom. I could see her purring on my bed. This is after the shadow person event. The shadow person went away, and she had died in between all this. I saw her on my bed. I could hear her, feel her purring. She was there. So they're around even after they pass. They stick around. I think
Yes. Very
I have
exact.
a lot of proof of that.
we could all hear Asia's snorts there for a while after she passed away.
Yeah. Lot of stories of their animals staying behind, or orbs with their animals on the steps where they used to sit,
I
or
see the light running up and down the hall right after he
Yeah,
passed.
that I've heard that.
That's-
Yep.
The cats would be just like in the mornings, the same routine, up and down the hall, up and down the hall, but they're chasing this orb of light instead of.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
My cat still does that. Luna does that. I swear to God, she does that.
moved, but yeah.
Like, I've seen her. I swear to God, I've seen it. Sometimes I can see these little lights. Not all the time. I'm not somebody who's like clairvoyant, sees it all the time. I get flashes of it, and I've seen her chase a light that nobody else could see. More than once.
Those are orbs.
Yeah, I've been told it's a gift to see these things. Like I don't know what it means. But I will see little balls of light that fly
Yeah,
around
I
that I
can't-
know nobody else is seeing.
I like
I
when I
can't
see
see
them
those
and
either.
then they see them too. It's like, oh, you see that too, don't you?
But everybody develops, part of the challenge is in our busy lives to develop these clairvoyant skills of some type. There's little glimpses of things that happen to you in your life. It takes time. You have to work on it. They just don't give it to you for nothing. So finding the time in your life to spend time meditating, reading, and asking, it's tough. So
Tell me about it. I used to read like 5 books a week, and now I can barely get one done in a month sometimes. Like trying to get ready for a show and read like your book. I've gotten halfway through. It's going to take me time to get through the rest of it, and I got another book I'm reading at the same time as for my next week's guest that I got too. So it's like I used to be able to boom. I could do that in a week. Have kids, work. Like when I was in my 20s, I'd be like, why isn't everybody? I was getting into meditation and I was seeing auras, and that's when the sparkles, the light shows started and all that. And I'm like doing meditation. I'm like, why can't anybody else be asking these big questions? And then I started adulting, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why. That's why.
That's a big barrier.
Yeah, get off your high horse. When you get into the spiritual new age realm, you're like, why? Why aren't people into this? Get off your high horse. Once reality hits you and bills and everything else, and you're like, oh yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Well, I'm 67, so this started 10 years ago. So 20 years ago, I wouldn't have had the time to do this.
Yeah, I'm 46 and got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, and man, I want to get back into meditation more. I do it still, but not like I did in my 20s, and I want to get more exploring. I'd love to get back into, like, we talk about having the psychic game night. I haven't done that in a long time on here, but like developing those abilities that I've experienced. Like I think everybody can, develop these abilities.
They can.
Activities.
Yeah. I'd like to explore it more, and I look at it as like, well, that's gonna be my kind of the kids get out of the house and we'll start exploring. It's like hard to get quiet free time.
Mostly learning to work on trusting your gut, trusting your intuition.
Yeah, my biggest thing I try to do is just looking to grow that relationship with God. That's the one thing if anything, I've been trying to like work on, like that inner voice that talks to you, that feeling that is there, it's there, this force that I believe in, and I want to explore and grow that relationship more with. That if there's anything spiritually focused that I'm like trying to like get more into, that's it.
Well, I think that's beautiful, and part of my journey was I've had 2 very, very important spiritual mentors. One of them is currently in London. Her name's Kathy Crosswell, who ever since she was a child, she calls it the upstairs. She's talked to them like like we're all talking. And so she's been brilliant with me every week, asking them for advice, what my homework is, answering questions for me, and discernment, understanding what's intuition and what's really messaging from them. These are all the things everybody struggles with on this journey when they're trying to build their meditation practice or their clairvoyancy. But everybody can do it.
Yeah, yeah. I have somebody that's a good mentor. I would think it'd be great, to learn that stuff.
I've got a lady for you.
Hey, she wants to be a guest. She doesn't mind getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning if she's in the UK. Send her my information. Send her my way.
I will. If I can do this at 11:30 or whatever it was, she can do this.
Yeah. I have a guest I just scheduled that's in England, and he's like, that's like 4 in the morning, but I'll do it. You got me for an hour before I have to go to work. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm
tough.
always appreciative of my UK guests, but yeah, I'm booking up. I'm into April now, so hook her up. I'd love to talk to her.
Okay, I will.
Definitely.
She's beautiful. You'll really, really, really enjoy her.
Well, you up to hanging out for a half hour more? We're going to go to commercial break and see if we get any more phone calls.
Yeah, I'll go take just a bathroom break and be right back.
Yep. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll come back with our guest tonight is Tim Malone. We're talking about Behind the Veil, one man's journey from opioid addiction to spirituality and beyond. Deep topics tonight, and I love the phone calls. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mike. And we will come back when we do. If you want to call in, just wait till we come back from commercial break. Join this conversation. We've got about a half hour left when we come back from the short commercial break.
Intercepted transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated.
I will hear it.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're gonna go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college, I've got a family to support, and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it, but to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all, but he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the Dreamscape.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Heat 'em up.
Do, re,
Egon.
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419 or by Skype caller ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight's guest has been Tim Malone. He's the author of Behind the Veil, One Man's Journey from Opioid Addiction to Spirituality and Beyond. We got a lot of deep topics. I have to keep myself focused because I want to really get to talk about him and his experiences in the books. But I know Tim's the kind of guy I can go down a lot of different spiritual rabbit holes with. And if you want to tonight, too, we only got a half hour left. You want to join this conversation, let me make sure the phone lines are open. They are open now. Call in, join the conversation with our guest Tim Malone, but let's go ahead and get right back into it. Like I said, Tim, I've tried to keep you on the topic of your book, but we can go down a lot of these rabbit holes and discussions easily.
Forever.
But I am, like I said, I haven't finished the book. I'm really enjoying it. Where I'm at so far is this beginning of this journey into the spiritual realm for you, as you started to notice, these images in the orbs, seeing your boo boo in the orbs, the face of that. I've seen a lot of people go through this journey at the beginning of it. When they start to really open up to the spiritual realm and realizing there's more to this reality. And like it's transformed for you is helped in a sense get you over a horrible opioid addiction, right? So, what is your words of advice for people that are at the beginning of this journey?
That's a great question. I think expectations I think we just were talking about it, Jason, that our lives are very busy, most of us. And so being able to, I run a big business. I have people running it now. So I have a nice income. I have the time to every day at 3 o'clock spend an hour meditating and reading and talking.
I get an hour break at work sometimes, and I spend 20 minutes of it in my car trying to meditate. That's where I get my meditation time.
Cool. Very cool. And that's a luxury for a lot of people. So I think expectations and frustration, don't get too frustrated. Don't get just because there are people, it just takes a while to develop a practice of meditation. And there's so many ways you can go. I just met a lady that does 10-day quiet meditations twice a year. And she does 3-day quiet meditations all the time, which I don't think I could do 10 days of not talking to anybody. I don't know if I could do 3 days. So
not me, obviously. I'm a gabber. It ain't gonna happen.
Me too. I need people. So
yeah, right. Well, I saw Christina in the chat room. She goes, "Teach your boys to meditate." I have tried, Christina, and I've worked with them, and I had them do a little bit. But try to teach any kid to sit still and be quiet. Later, as they get, I put the seed in their mind about meditation. As they get more into adulthood, I might get them there. I've tried.
I teach mindfulness and meditation to. I'm a volunteer for the Louisville Urban League, and these are people that have gotten out of prison or trying to restart their lives. And I'm surprised at how many do have. How many do have some quietness every day that they try to get in? And we look at pro athletes that meditate before the big shot, or they're sitting there in their quietness. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Like you said, you've got your church there on your show. By the way, that dog barking is Boo Boo. That's Boo-boo. The new Boo Boo. Yeah,
the new Boo Boo.
Yeah, here I'll
we're gonna get to see the new Boo Boo.
Yeah, come here, Boo Boo. I have two, but this is the new Boo Boo here. There she is.
Oh my God! My mom's probably in bed by now, but she'd love this because she's a huge Shih Tzu. Put him a little closer because your green screen's getting. There you go. Green screen's like taking Boo Boo away. Oh,
she needs a haircut.
Hi, Boo Boo. Oh yeah, my mom, my dad. I mean, they love their Shih Tzu, and they love their Shih Tzus that have passed away now. So much.
And what's interesting is sometimes they'll bark, and there are spirits in the house, and they'll bark. The dogs know that. They can sense it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll never forget the first time I moved into this house. I had passed out on the couch. Give me my fair forgiveness. I was in my 20s and a little intoxicated. And I don't think the owner previous here, Bob, that built this house, liked it. And I remember waking up to Bella like growling, and I turn and look, and there he is for like just a flash of a second. I see this guy, like out of the corner of my eye, like I can see like he's got some denim like overall thing on and whatever, and he's like standing there judging me. Bella sensed that, like. I don't think they see him all the time though. I think pets aren't tortured that way in a sense because God, they'd be chasing them all over the place. But I think they, just like us, they get glimpses of it.
Yeah, they do, and that's when I kind of know. Usually, if Boo Boo's barking, she's really connected. So I know there's some extra people in the house.
Oh yeah. I definitely think they can sense it. If it's bad too, I think they can.
Well, they actually, as you would agree, intuitively connect with us. My subconscious connects with the spirits that then would show me things in orbs. I would ask during my meditation, I'd like to see Archangel Michael, and they would show me that at night. So sharing consciousness, dogs do the same things with us. They know when we're happy. They know when we're sad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know they know that. I always felt like, especially Bella and me, my first dog, we had like she could read my mind. I swear to God.
Oh yeah, I agree. I believe you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And that you build these bonds with it, and that's what we're here to do. Is build bonds with the other life forms. Human or non. These relationships.
It's all interconnected. As corny as it sounds, it is.
But it's so true.
It is true.
When you say we are one, we really are one.
We are.
And people look outside for all these answers, and they want this quick little explanation what it's all about. But
the answer is 42.
Yeah, it's always 42. But
sorry,
it's in you, and it takes a lot to find it. You can't just sum it up in a quick AI overview, but once you have it, you have it.
What is 42?
Yeah, that's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a reference to that. They built a big super AI computer to answer the greatest question, the question of all time. What does it mean? What is existence? They really don't have a question. That's what the AI comes back. It's like, well, if you actually knew that, it's a funny thing. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a joke here. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, 724, 742 are my angel numbers.
Oh, okay. Well, 42. That was the AI's answer. Well, since you didn't really have a question, real question, my answer is 42. So that's our answer here. Whenever we're like, what's the big question, the answer of life and everything? 42.
67.
Or 3, 6, and 9, according to Tesla. But
universe.
Yeah, I think we're part of some kind of like a field of consciousness. We are like picture the ocean, and
we're made of stardust and nitrogen and everything that outer space is. We are.
I think consciousness is a field of energy of its own, and we are all part of that. Every single consciousness is that. We are like peaks on a wave, and that wave eventually crashes and blends back into the ocean. But the particles that were in that wave are still there in the ocean.
Yeah, and I'm on the outskirts of. I'm trying to understand more and ask the holy ones about being in two places at once and other planets at once. And I think I'm pretty convinced that's true.
Like multidimensional existence, so you're living parallel lives.
Yep.
In a sense, that we're multidimensional entities in a sense that we can't realize that. Yeah, I've always wondered that.
I'm close to that one, really believing
it. This is only one part of our experience.
Yes.
Not just talking about past lives, but you're living multiple experiences right now. There really is no time. You're living your past lives, multiple lives, different planets, future lives, all of it right now, because there is no now, there is no time, there is no past.
There's no play with, or like everything you do, like this way, there's another you doing it opposite somewhere else. If you go down this road, you're going down this road somewhere else.
I think, and I think some of the quantum physics things they're doing are starting to prove some of that. There was a movie recently that had a lady that was doing that in past lives and future lives and dual lives. And I think I'm about ready to believe it. I think they will give me things when I'm ready, and they'll reveal things when I'm ready, and for all of us. So if you're on a slow path, you ask me, Jason, about advice. They will reveal things when you're ready for those things, and so that'll be when you're ready. So, yeah.
When it's your time and your journey, your point to learn, I guess. Well, that's the thing. It's like some people they have they have a complete faith in a certain religion or idea, or dogma or science or whatever. I'm one of those people that I have faith in very few things. Like one of them is that there's a higher power. One of them that there is more to than just this existence. But can I prove that scientifically? No. Just from my own experiences, right? And it's just like anybody else's faith. That however religions touch them to give them that faith or that belief.
Right. Everybody's a product of their paradigm. Think about it. When you're born, you're a blank slate, and then you become the product of the life you lead and the
your
people
culture, your your
exactly.
parents, all those things. That's why I'm like, how can anybody judge anybody? It's not to say people aren't responsible for their actions. Okay, people are responsible. No, in the end of all deals, you make the choices, no
But
matter
you
what
need
your
to be
experiences led you
mindful
there.
how we got there.
Right. But that's the thing. But how can anybody be a judge of anybody? And especially if past lives play in this bad. And this is what I've told my sons. Like my son Liam, he had a breakdown moment when he told me the name of the battle. I'm slipping right now, thinking the name of the he told me the place the battle had Colmar Pocket was the name. He said Colmar, something Colmar, and I was like, that sounds familiar. It was the Colmar Pocket in France.
Yeah, that was World
Battle and
War
all that.
One, I think.
And he was a German soldier, I think, from his description, because he was talking about, they were on a hill and it was snow, it was cold, and this is when the Colmar Pocket went down. It was winter, it was freezing. These guys were German soldiers were left behind, and he said his other soldiers were deserting him. He's always been fascinated with soldiers and all this stuff. But he's like, Dad, if I was a German, I was a Nazi. Like, he understands this, my history. They don't teach kids. I said, it doesn't matter. I said, but but that doesn't matter, Liam. Doesn't mean there was plenty of Nazi soldiers that were just soldiers. It doesn't matter. Just any side of war in history. We've all been the bad guy. We've all been the good guy. That's why I believe there's no judgment from the higher power, because we've all played a role.
Well, there's no judgment. Well, you're correct, but there are consequences.
There's consequences. There's things you have to play out because you made a choice.
Yes. Instant karma.
Or long-term karma.
Well, yeah. If if you become a mass murderer, you die. You just don't get a hall pass. There are. It's not the traditional hell that what they've shown me. Like they have in the Bible, but there are consequences in places you go.
There has to be.
There are. Yeah, there are.
Was it him that...
as above, so below. There's consequences in real life here right now. If you murder somebody, you're going to face. There's consequences if you do any of the choices you make. And I think that is so for above, that you're going to have to deal with it. It's just consequences of what you do. You chose this is the action, and this is the result, and you're going to have to deal with it. And it's not a judgment, it's just the truth of the matter.
I don't know if I'm getting this mixed with another story, but was it him that knew the name of a dog on a farm he never would have known, or was that a different story?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't him. I don't know. I don't remember that one, Jamie. I'm sure I've had 10 years of this. I'm sure that you're remembering something I've just completely forgotten. We've had so many different guests. Yeah, but these are the kind of things that happen, on this show. The stories we talk about, these are the experiences people have, and they're real, and legitimate experiences people have. They shouldn't be ignored.
They are, and I don't know why there's not more belief for the things that are so mysterious. I think part of Hollywood, I love going to movies, and
I'm a huge movie fan. I wanted to be a director.
I love it, and I love going to things that are based on true stories. And really, when I look, like this weekend, I saw the one about Dead Man's about the guy that was wired to the shotgun in Indianapolis in 1977, Dead Man's Wire. But I was looking at the other movies that I could watch, and it's all slasher, scary. We've been conditioned to think all this stuff is horrible and dark, and
I like movies like What Dreams May Come. I always say my favorite movies have to do with the afterlife. I say this on the show. I said it last week. I know I've said it a billion times, but it's the truth. Like, I've discovered, like, all my favorite movies, like Beetlejuice, Albert Brooks' Defending Your Life, and
you've got to
What
watch
Dreams May Come, and like all these
movies. Do you like old movies?
Oh yeah.
There's a great one called A Matter of Life and Death in 1946, and it had who was the actor? It is you would love it. I'll think of his name in a minute.
Sounds familiar.
But it's a great one about a guy that's in World War II. His plane gets shot down. and he ends up on this beach, and it's really really cool.
I'll have to
It's all
check that
about
one
the
out.
afterlife. Yeah, it's a good one.
Is it? Yeah, so I'll love it. I will. I think I've heard of this. Somebody else recommended this to me, and I still haven't checked it out. I need to find it.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, somebody else recommended this to me years ago. That's why the title was familiar when I brought up, like, I love all these movies about the afterlife, right? You know?
Yeah.
Not that I believe any of them are like what the afterlife is, but they're entertaining, and I like.
Some are pretty close. That one's fairly close to what I know.
What'd you think of What Dreams May Come, Robin Williams? Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that one.
Really?
No.
Really? You really should. You
I
really
know.
should. And there's two alternate endings, which I always found entertaining because I own it on disc. Because they had one ending I think they showed mainly in the West, which is the like the original ending, I guess some people consider, where you know, I don't want to give it away. Actually, I don't want to give it away. You haven't seen. But there's an original ending, and then there's the more Eastern ending where they get into reincarnation.
I'm getting ready to take a trip where I'll be on an airplane for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
What
look
Dreams
it
May
up.
Come.
I will watch it on YouTube.
Oh, what? Go ahead and put that back up, Christina.
Oh.
Just had it.
Oh, she had it pulled up?
Jason, let me know. Not all German soldiers and Germans were bad. Right. Yeah, that's what I told them. Some helped Jews to leave before during the war. Yeah, they're soldiers. What choice do they have? Be shot if you're not
Right.
going to join? You're going to be a deserter? I mean,
I know.
All right, here we got a call. All right, we got another person on the line. Who do we got?
Hey, is that Jim Eagle in San Francisco?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Good to
Thank you for
hear
the,
from you again.
the
And
donation. The
I like
super
your
chat.
T-shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the donation, the super chat, too.
Oh, you're welcome. So I had a quick. Wanted to let Tim know about a quick experience that I had when I was younger, and I had first gotten sober. So we have that in common. Actually, I actually went through some addiction problems that I think I talked about one time. And I had gotten sober, and a couple years after I'd gotten sober, I had kind of an experience. Well, I did have a spiritual experience, and it was his was in Kroger, but mine was in on the bus, and it was kind of interesting because I was leaving work. It was a drizzly night. It was dark. I was on the bus. I was near the window, and I remember I turned my head. It just kind of rolled over towards the window. I looked out the window, and we happened to be passing by a tree, and I was looking at this tree, and there were I could see these lights, this kind of what I call ropes of light, and I saw these ropes of light going through the tree. And then I looked down on the ground, and I saw even bigger ropes of light running under what looked like under the streets of the city of San Francisco, where I live now. And then I realized it was spreading out all over the place, kind of like in a fractal kind of way.
Yeah.
After that, and more importantly, is while that was happening, I knew I had this feeling, or it wasn't a feeling. I actually knew how they did it, and I remember saying out loud, "Oh, that's how they do it." And I understood how it all worked. But as soon as the vision ended, the knowledge went away. I remember that I said it, but I can't remember. I can't remember anything of how it worked.
Right, like your brain couldn't, I've had a dream like that where, like, I'm getting the answer. It's 42, right? You know, I'm getting all the answers of the universe. I swear, I woke up at it's slipping. It's gone. Like, I had some great answer, right? Like, your brain can't hold it. I know that feeling.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Your brain can't hold it. So when the vision ended, everything ended. I was no longer connected. But I always remember that I was for a fraction of a second.
That's credible. I thought you were going to tell me it took place in a gym, knowing you.
Yeah, well, you know, when people,
like the last time,
when people, you know, visions, we haven't talked a lot about those, but when I was really doing visions and out of body stuff, you can tell they're different than dreams because they're very vivid. You always remember them, and I always wanted to go back to sleep and go do more with them.
Right.
But other people always will say they got this knowledge, this incredible knowledge sometimes during these visions, like you're saying, and the way the ley lines and the energy runs. But it's brilliant. It's
That's what I was thinking of when he's talking about that, is the ley lines and energy lines.
Yeah, I was too. So it's brilliant. It's really cool that you got an opportunity, and it just shows you the vastness of the knowledge that is there waiting for us. And that's why when you die, there's like so much to learn. There's always more and more to learn, and there's a zillion planets. I've been on a lot of planets, so yeah, a lot to learn. A lot about different people, different color people, different looking. In my orbs, I see all these different. I've got lots of different looking. People call them aliens, but they're just people from other planets.
I see. Tim, I had another question for you.
Sure.
When I also experience orbs, and I have many videos of them, and so ufology was something I had experienced when I was a little kid, and when I got sober, I got more into ufology. That's when I started experiencing orbs and UFOs in the sky. And one of those things that led me, because of the spirituality that I was going through, specifically through 12 steps, trying to get over the alcoholism, led me to study demonology. And when I was studying demonology, I saw some things that I saw many things that looked like ufology, and I was making connections between them. And since then, I started studying magic, and I don't practice it. I just study it because I find it very fascinating. So those three items, ufology, demonology, and magic, I always thought were kind of related. Do you have any information on that or opinion on that?
Well, I will say that magic, alchemy, and these things from the ancient, the earth at its infancy, there was Lemuria, there was Atlantis. These were very advanced groups of people that learned how to use crystals and use the energies that the universe had. And they could transmute themselves, they could transport themselves. But I think demons are dark energy. I think they're real. And I don't know what ufology is. Is that like UFOs?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's aliens.
They're real. They're here. They visit. But they're just people from other planets that are more advanced than us. Nothing to be scared about. And always remember, with demons and UFOs, the light always wins. The light always shines. So when I have demons that have attacked me in visions, I just always call on my archangels in the light. I had out of body things where I was going up to heaven, flying through the sky, and these dead people were grabbing me, and they said they just drowned in a boat. They were two brothers, and they were trying to grab me, and it was scary, but I just kept saying, I have Archangel Michael's protection. I have Archangel Michael's protection. They let go. So yeah, it's all real. Everything you said is a part of the universe in different measures.
Well, thanks, Tim. And I'm going to probably buy your book tomorrow. I found it very interesting.
I definitely recommend it.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Jim,
All
for
right.
calling in.
You have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah, thank you
Jim.
again for the super
Take
chat
care.
donation.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Good night.
Don't forget, guys, super chats do help pay for the show. I don't make money. I did my taxes this year. And I didn't want to pay for the premium, do all the deductibles and that, but I'm like, I didn't make any money. I know YouTube gave me money, but I didn't make any money.
Well, send me
Because
some
it goes all of
information.
his.
I'll help you.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, well,
Go.
I'm on Patreon, on YouTube. There's YouTube channel members and Patreon. If you look me up under Paranormal Soup, Jason Bland on Patreon. It's in the links in the description of the show, but hey, if you want to be a Patreon, I won't deny it because I need help.
No, I appreciate you giving me some exposure, and I've really, really, really enjoyed. Like I said, I could talk to you for days, Jason.
Well, we're definitely gonna have to get you back on the show.
Yeah.
We definitely got to get you back on.
They have to have them back.
I'd love to come back because they keep showing me more and more, and there's much more for me to be revealed to you all about what's coming. The good news
No,
for humans.
I'd love to.
I
Yes,
feel
like I said,
really scratch the top.
yeah. It's like I'm reading your book, and I'm like, oh, see, like Like I gotta stay focused on the book, but I can feel like we could get into a lot of topics and a lot of stuff we could talk about, So I knew that was good. Keep yourself focused, Jason. Don't go down the rabbit hole.
No.
You need to let him get his book out there, because I think people should definitely check this out. Check out Behind the Veil. I love the title, even though I got it wrong my first posting. God dang it. Behind the Veil, guys, you can check it out. It's on Amazon. We share the links in here, but you can just literally type in Tim Malone Behind the Veil on Amazon. You can find it there. Any other information you want to get out to the audience before we go tonight?
No, I think, like I said, the book is also a tutorial for people that want to start their journey. So I give a lot of information that helps people understand what's going on out there in the universe and how to start. And then, like I said, next show, when I come back, I'd like to talk more about, I'm just now working with the Holy Ones on what this new golden age actually means and how you
I'd love to talk about that, because like I said, I hear about it all the time on the show. I want to say thank you. Yep, thank you. Blue Cruise for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Love you. But I'd love to get into that, because, we've had a lot of guests to talk about this, like this golden age that's coming. I want to see it. I had this beautiful dream like a year ago, where I felt like it was trying to give me a glimpse of like a new golden age of awakening of humans. Like, I swear, I hope that dream's true.
All Humans. The next book they want me to write is called Calling All Humans. And it's the guidebook for the new golden age. But I'm just now working with them on ways I can actually give your listeners advice on how merging the heart with the ego and the mind, and examples in day-to-day life and how you do that. So the next time I'm on, we'll go down that path.
Yeah, definitely. You let me know, Tim. We'll get you on. It's an honor to have you on the show tonight. Guys, check out Behind the Veil, one man's journey from opioid addiction to spirituality and beyond. Like I say, you can find it on Amazon. Tim, thank you so much for being on the show. Stay in touch.
Yep, love you guys.
We're going to get you back on again.
And love all your listeners. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Jim, to Dan, to Jim, Dan,
Mike?
and Mike. Mike.
Yep.
Can't forget Mike. Come on, man. Mike, our deep thinker. Thank you guys for your wonderful phone calls tonight. Love everybody that supports the show, shares it out. Thank you for the super chats from Jim and from Blue Cruise. Thank you guys. Helps pay the bills. Don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Follow and subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about Paranormal Soup, where the weird happens live every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Check us out, like I said, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. We're also on Talkstream Live's Paranormal Radio app. If you want to just listen on there, and it plays a bunch of old reruns. I'm sorry I haven't updated that. But you can also check us out. We have a Patreon. You see the links in the show if you want to donate through them. Thank you, everybody who does. Thank you for everybody who shares out the show. Thank you, everybody who comes every Sunday night. I love you guys so much. You are my community. I love you. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. See you next Sunday. Paul Wallace. We love Paul Wallace. Checking out his new book. Well, I think he has his new book. I had to get this one. The Eden Enigma. Talking about ancient aliens next Sunday. See you then. Have a great night.